world and I can't find my baby. Hello. It is Saturday morning, not our usual time and place, but we're here. It's ArachNerds episode 18, brought to you by FulviusApparel.com. Check it out. I make everything. I ship everything. I design everything. I respond to every message. It is 1000% just me. Handcrafted shirts and hats and things like that. Check them out, FulviusApparel.com. Down in the description is the link. Phil has the new Dahani shirt. I'm rocking the new Keep It Classy. Move my man titties out the way, and
nice.
He can get that there. I believe I have that as a tag
Bro,
product.
I can't wait to get mine.
Yeah, we're gonna get them out next week.
So good.
Of course, I was out of the size shirt that we needed, so I got to order some more. But we'll get them out ASAP.
That's all right. Thanks, man.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
Use the code THN at checkout. Get 15% off your order. That is the exclusive promo code for THN listeners and viewers like you. And like I said, hats, shirts, hoodies. Today it is actually, I think, approaching 80. So we had nice cold weather, and then we're gonna have our day of spring, and then we're gonna go
80
back.
degrees down there, dude.
Close to it. It's somewhere in the 70s at the moment, but we're supposed to get a crazy
banana land
soon. So
wow,
it's supposed to get into like the 40s or something this coming week. So
that's
which I think
so
in Celsius
cold.
is like
even I know how cold that is.
Yeah, it's hitting 30s at night, so I've really been having to run oil heaters in the snake room and stuff, just because it gets a little nippy outside up north.
I've been putting off turning mine on those colder nights, but just for the same issue that I haven't put the rhino rats into brumation yet. But I did move almost all the spiders are in the black box cage that I sort of converted into a spider cabinet of sorts, and I just need to get a heat panel from them because right now the UV light that I have in there bumps it up to about 80, but I want to get a heat panel in there so I can bump it up to somewhere between 83 and 85.
Yeah, nice.
I'm going to talk to Jen about getting my hands on one of the smaller models they have. Get it right. So
yeah, get like a nice 28 watt panel or something, nice and tiny. Just be able to regulate the temps. That would be sweet.
Yeah. I like it though. I like it that everything's sort of in like one place, not sort of scattered all across the room. So it's been good. But what's anything new up yonder?
Okay, so Dritz was able to help me out. I got a bunch of new centipedes. Same with Johnny Venom. They were able to really help me out with some new stuff. I got some younger plings of Scolopendra species Whitebeard from Johnny. I got I got a multi-dens with Dritz. I got a multi-dens. I got another Dahani. That new Dahani that I got, I believe, has mycosis. So we're gonna kind of see what's good with him. He looks like he's about to molt as well. So hopefully he can kind of molt out of that.
What's mycosis?
So it's like fungal growth on the turrets and the plates. Yeah. So it just, poor ventilation, shipping, whatever. I don't know where this little dude was. He's actually huge, but he's in a nice dry. Yeah, I know, poor guy. He's in a nice dry enclosure, and he looks pretty chubby. Yeah. So hopefully he can just molt it out. I got some polymorpha as well. Really excited to work with some polymorpha just because they're so different than some of the more tropical stuff that I'm keeping. Some of the two newer dudes I got, I don't know if they're dudes. They're pretty tiny. They gotta go through a couple molts before I can pop them and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, like, what size are you wanting them to be when you do that?
As large as possible. If there's any doubt in my mind, I will wait. It's just not worth it. Like, these centipedes are all wild caught, obviously, and it's quite a trip to get here. So you want to kind of make sure they're established and they're nice and robust, because sexing a centipede is quite the traumatic endeavor for the centipede. So Yeah, if there's any question in my mind, like it's like if you're gonna breed a snake, dude, like, is she big enough? Like, if you're thinking that, dude, no, sir. The answer is no. So just kind of be patient. That's like what I'm doing with the multi-dens and the mutilans. Mutilans, multi-dens. Yeah, I got both of those now. They're wild, dude. They're so quick, but they're tiny. So wait until they probably go through like I'm gonna say 3 to 5 molts. They're pretty small, dude. Like so, maybe like so. Um, 3 to 5 molts, and then we'll give them a nice ice bath. Check out if there's any spinning organs, and then I think I have some more multi-dens coming as well this week. I got 2 more from another very good friend of mine. So hopefully,
boy, call him Butter because he's on a roll.
We'll see, dude. I don't really know what I'm doing, But if I get enough dudes and enough girls, and I keep throwing shit at the wall, eventually it's gonna stick. I have one pairing that's ongoing right now, and I've seen copulation. Dritz has seen copulation. There's a lot of snuggling, like cuddling, vibing together. So we're just kind of letting that ride. Yeah,
That's
dude.
so cute.
Listen,
That's so cute.
it's really cute, but at the same time, it's like, okay, if I disturb them, they're instantly back into like I'm not cool at all mode. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've got two Dahani that I have not checked on in over a month because I saw them copulate. And I'm gonna we're playing the game that they are potentially gravid, and I'll check on them after Christmas, maybe in January, maybe. Because if you fart too loud next to a gravid centipede, it will eat its eggs, dude.
Oh man.
Yeah,
that
dude.
Sucks.
So
that actually sucks.
yeah,
That's
so
such
they're
good
in a
mothers,
very. They are insane mothers, but they're very stressy,
Yeah.
and they're in a nice, warm, dark corner of the Underdark where they cannot be bothered or touched, and they just kind of vibe it out. And I'll check on them in a few months, and if there's
at some point you got to look at them though, right? Like, how do you?
Well, dude, I mean, you'll see if there's evidence of activity at night or something. They a lot of times, once they've settled into an enclosure, they'll really rearrange and redecorate it. That's just anecdotal, like, right? I'm not like an expert or anything, but that's just what I've seen, and like kind of watching where you place like the cork bark and where you place the just like the furniture in the enclosure. You can see if they've moved it or not, and I've noticed that a lot of that stuff, like you can see the giant burrow through the tub, dude, and she's just like sitting there, like looking fat as hell. And I don't know. I've never produced centipedes myself. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of trying to. But then at the same time, I don't even know if it was my pairing, because I got these as adult wild caught animals. So who's to say they weren't
been
paired
another
prior
Lividus,
to their arrival?
Yeah,
another Lividus situation,
Could
man.
be likely,
Yeah, could be like that. So you never know. So only time will tell. But I'm definitely excited to continue working with peds.
Well, it's funny you say that, because like that's how I gauge if one of the Cereopagapus is still kicking, is like if the web looks like it's maintained and still fresh, and I'm like, yeah, they're in there and they're fine. But like
they're doing good.
Some of the slings that I got, the Lividus slings that I had, like there was a couple where I was like, man, that thing looks like it hasn't been touched in
quite a
minute. And so I was like, I probably know what I'm gonna find when I dig this up. And it's usually that's my litmus test for the status of those fossorial stuff, is like, are they?
Dude, mom's gravid again. We tried to pair her again twice because she hasn't dropped a sack, and she had no interest in pairing again. And she looks like thick as hell. So I don't know if she's gonna molt, but she's vibing. So we'll see. Hopefully I can get you some more.
Yeah. My albostriatus are going strong. So
yeah, those things are crazy, man. They're little ninjas, little dirt ninjas, dude.
Yeah. Stressful.
I love that. Ninja.
They are the little angry dirt spiders, but they're not so little.
Mine are all still small. So. But anything else spider wise?
I got a. I also got a. I got to buy rupees.
Nice.
And I got Omothymus Shodeti. And Dritz and I are pretty sure it's a dude, but that's cool. That's cool. We know people with girls.
It's in the right spot.
Yeah, it's in the right spot, dude. I was like, perfect. Give me the boys. I'm pretty sure Andrew Browning has, shout out Andrew Browning. I'm pretty sure he has a female that's down to clown.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found out my Kylobrachy species Sarabori and my Formicanycalus arboricola are also dudes. So I'm not mad though. Like, this is fire because we have the women to support these dudes and to hopefully not kill and eat them. My Velocipedes girl, dude, she's still in a big tank with the male, like trying to pair. Like, I don't know, it's like a really weird game of cat and mouse, dude. Because like this male is like trying to pair, but he's also not trying to get eaten. Also, it's been like over a week. You know what I mean? They just kind of cohab at this point, and if it happens, it happens.
It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Predator.
Yeah, yeah,
like
but
we it out and he's hiding from it.
So per Dritz, like we want the female to eat him. Because this is not a strapping young lad. This is an older gentleman.
Savage.
Yeah. We want to get her in the mood, dude. But she looks good. Like, body condition is right where it's got to be. Like, where it's got to be. So I don't know. We'll see. That's a tough one. That's a tricky one. They're basically cohabbed in this huge, like, exoterra or whatever right now. And the male is, like, all the way on the top. And the female's, like, in the other corner. And they're, like tapping and stuff. It's so cool to watch. She looks like a purple demon.
That's so cool.
All right, that was my TED Talk.
That was
That's good TED Talk. It kind of reminds me of I just found out my Panther species mascara is a male, and I'm seriously not disappointed just because he's gonna be bright purple, and I cannot wait. Like, either way, I was like, yeah, if it's a male or female, I don't care, because either way, I gave a big brown female or a very beautiful shiny purple male. So I'm not mad at all.
The males are just nuts for Panthos. Like, unfortunately they can't live in my home with me due to the itching, but they're very pretty.
Itchy boys, yeah, I'm so excited.
Dude.
I haven't
been head yet, so
to continue to put up with it with the apophysis, because I want more.
Dude, the apophysis actually intimidates me more than the Panthos. Like, there's just, when we were pairing those Sturmy, we were like this, like protecting our eyes and shit. Yeah, dude, those are real deal.
Oh, same buddy. I got the female mirror from has a female apophysis for like $200, and I'm like,
oh my god, dude.
And I have a male. Mine's not mature, even though I haven't seen him in probably 3 or 4 weeks. So he's in
there.
He's in a molt cycle. But every time he comes out after being in a molt cycle, dude, it's giant. Like, oh my god, it gets bigger. Jesus. So, but then it's a question of like
4 inches.
Yeah, having a after hearing you and Dritz talk about pairing Theraphosa stuff, it's like, do I really want to open myself up to that? Because also having never bred spiders before.
True. $200 apophysis is a steal. That is robbery now.
Where are you seeing that? Because I'm not seeing it.
Just in the comment. I don't know, in the comments. Just shout out No for being the best and setting this up. Thank you so much.
I love you, Juice. Big shout out, Juice. Juice and Anna.
Shout out Tarantula Addicts. TA Tarantula Addicts Discord. Yeah, that's where we met Sharpee. Yeah.
Oh, there they are. Okay.
TA is awesome.
Yeah.
You should if you haven't. Just saying.
Yeah, you should definitely give it a look. Yep.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know if he'll still have it or not, because I also was like, hey, if you need a male, I've got one. He was like, no, I've got like 2 males.
Are they lined up though? Like, is she like? Are they gonna line up? Like,
I think it's an adult. I don't think it's a baby. I think he said it was an adult. So.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
know,
yeah. Although sometimes,
I don't think he ships, and that's why his stuff is usually so cheap. Because I got that female mirror for $125.
Well, so dude, shipping a large Sturmy like that can be really risky. It can be really, really risky because those, like, again, I'm not an expert, but per Dritz, like, those pressure changes when you're shipping a large spider like that, you can really blow out those abdomens.
I never thought about that until he had mentioned it.
Yeah, neither had I.
That's insane.
Yeah, if you think about it, it makes sense though, right? Like, totally science. But
yeah, for sure.
when we paired those Sturmies, dude, we were using a 41 quart tub. Like
It's a battleground, dude.
Yeah, dude, it's like an area.
Oh my god, the dome.
Yeah. Oh, it was yeah, the dome. Yes, dude. It was literally the dome,
A
Sharpie.
whole separate
yes.
room. Yeah.
Dude, and we all had like
It's a battle
bandanas
dome.
and shit, like protecting ourselves. And we were like poking with brushes, like the longest brushes we could find. Yeah, it was crazy,
so
dude. You got to
funny.
watch out for the
Yeah.
males too. The males will eat the females with the Theraphosa and shit. Dritz was saying.
Yeah.
Oh,
wild.
really? Oh,
Yes.
that's interesting.
Yes. Again, I'm not an expert, but this is per Dritz, who I would say he's pretty. Yeah, he's got some expertise.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
I was
for
saying the other night. Is like I'm amassing all these different species, and I'm like, which one am I going to breed first? And I don't know because none of my stuff is really old enough, except for that female Mira, but I don't have a male. And
The Akaya, you're going to breed the Akaya first.
I don't know. It could be Simani. I don't.
Justin, tell us about your new microscope.
Oh my god, dude!
He did it, guys. He did it.
Best $70 I've ever spent
microscope?
on Amazon.
Yeah, he got a microscope, Sharpie.
Yay!
Now I'm just
Hell yeah! What's the magnification?
It goes up to like
1200 Sharpie. Yeah.
It's not even anything. It's like on the lower end as far as
That's not too
cost
bad,
goes.
yeah.
I was amazed
Yeah.
at the quality overall, like the build quality, the picture quality.
Plug
like
and play.
that.
Literally
Yeah.
plug and play. Nothing special. Not breaking the bank here, Sharpie.
Not
but
massive. It doesn't take up a ton of space on the table.
Yeah.
No, but it rips. It rips for sure. I asked for it for Christmas,
Hell yeah.
Justin.
Dude, I hope it happens, dude, because now I'm like every day itching for
a molt.
I'm like,
For a
damn
molt,
it, now no
yeah.
one's gonna molt because I've got that that Iphibopus that molted but has decided to hold the molt hostage for the last
you're never gonna
2
see
or 3
it,
weeks,
never
and
gonna
I'm
see
probably
that molt.
I'm probably not gonna get it in one piece. So
nope, not once.
I'm like, whatever. It's nice though because like I have those Akaya that are still small. They're not slings, but they're juveniles, and
yeah,
one of those is a female. Thanks for this microscope. The other one TBD, but
oh dude, if you get a pair of those Akaya, you got to sign me up.
Yeah, dude. I've got
Those
the
are
3
serious.
and I definitely want to get more than the 3 that I have, because just like with the Bambus, like I'm loading up on Bambus as much as I can, just in hopes of hitting a male.
That female you got is very pretty, dude.
I got
She's
2
very,
of them now.
very pretty. Yeah, I know.
But
Trust
they're
me.
both
I know.
they're nuts. Yeah.
They're super pretty.
They're small, but they're not runners.
No.
Oh, that is not a species that you would think that would be a runner, like a species that takes off. They don't, dude. They just
no. They'll
the other day the one was out, and so like, I opened the cage and I was missing a little bit, but then I poked her with the brush and she just very slowly like turned and then just reared up. She just did it in like slow motion. It was hilarious. It was like, these things don't care.
She's here for the smoke, dude. Yeah, I love it. Oh man, they have all the behaviors and they're not that big. They're such a cool species, dude.
I've become obsessed with them, and unfortunately there's just not that much information out there aside from like, yep, here's where they came from, here's what they found. Like, it sucks because it's just one of those species that I'm dying for more information, but I'm so limited in what's available, so
it's not just you.
That's what it is. Yeah, but they're cool. I'm really enjoying them. I have 2 more coming on Monday, and I'm tempted to hit up Saxon and be like, hey,
oh no, ask for a third. Just round it out, dude.
Throw some more in the box. How many do you have?
No. What are you gonna do?
I'll max out a fucking credit card if I have to.
Okay. Just get the males, dude. All the Bambus. You need all the Bambus.
Well, I'm doing it for me, and I'm doing it for Dritz, man. Because I'm like,
it's not for us, man. It's for Dritz. We're doing this all for Dritz.
For the Underdark.
Yeah, dude. Shout out Dritz.
I'm flying the flag.
Need it. Need the Bambus.
And I need to get more classy too, because now I'm down to the 1. I sent him that male, and now I just have my female.
I saw that male last week, dude. He's vibing.
Is he?
Yeah, he's vibing.
Has he put in any work yet?
I'm not sure if he's put in any work. We were trying with what were we doing last week? What were we doing last time I was there, dude? We were pairing something.
You guys were pairing a bunch of stuff, I thought.
Yeah, it wasn't that though. We tried a bunch of stuff, and then I was doing centipede stuff, and it was just a blur, man. I dressed up as a banana too because it was Halloween, so
That's right, it was Halloween.
I was wearing a banana costume while I was popping peds, and oh, it was Orphanacus species Quaison Blue, dude.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Right.
those guys are wild. That female, dude. The way the light was just like reflecting off the sete was banana land. I mean, she hated me. She wanted, like, she was thinking about it, but she was just like not down to clown. You know what I mean? And the male was like, dude, I'm here. Like, yo. And she was like,
no.
Not having
not
it
today.
now.
Yeah, no, it's all right, dude. It's okay. You know, all in due time.
Yeah. Well, this week, or this episode, I should say, we are extremely excited to be joined by Sharpee of Sharpspoods.
Yeah.
We've got a very dense outline.
Literally one of the densest outline. Like this could be
really.
Like I had to yes. I had to buckle my seatbelt, Sharpee. Like when no hit me up, I pooped a cinder block. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, whoa, this is literally this is the ideal guest. Yes, dude, you're the most formally educated person on spiders that I think I've.
We have to have people that help us sound smart.
Yeah. No, shout out again for being the homie.
Yeah, big shout out. Yeah, he hooked me up as well, so I'm very happy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's not a lot of people that have entomology degrees to begin with, but then have a specialization in arachnids. So, like, I feel like you're one of really very few, at least that are like, you know, accessible and easy to get a hold of and like talk to and stuff like that.
Yeah,
super easy to talk to. You were very willing to come on. It was like we didn't have to twist your arm at all. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, cool.
Oh no. If I can just sit here and yap to you guys and yap about spiders, just sign me up.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we like to hear.
Yeah. So I mean, getting straight into it, we were kind of going to forego the typical, like, how did you get into spiders thing, but you can give us sort of the brief, you know, have you always been into them? Was it something that came about later? And then what transferred into, you know, the ento degree and things like that? Like what was the timeline of things like?
Yeah, just hit us with it.
Yeah, so I guess it's kind of a longish story. I guess I'll probably just go into it because I feel like people don't really know. So when I was doing my A-levels, which is like, I think it's like what you guys have after high school.
Undergrad, yeah.
It was like during COVID time. So it's like the thing that you do before you go to uni, for context. I was terrified of spiders. I was a very, very severe arachnophobe during my teens and childhood. But during my A-levels, I was looking to become a pilot, an airline pilot. And it was kind of the time. Yeah, I know, crazy, right?
What?
It was kind of the time that COVID hit. So obviously the airline industry's kind of crashed, right?
Yeah.
So I had to seriously reconsider. And it was like the last year before you're meant to like pick the unis you want to go to for the following year. And I was just like, what the hell do I do? What do I do? And then during that time, I was kind of in the background, exposure therapy, right? Going through exposure therapy for spiders. So I think it was around the same time that I actually joined TA. It was after I started collecting native jumping spiders in the UK. They're tiny, right? They're teeny, teeny, tiny. Most of our native spiders in the UK for salticids are like 5 millimeters big and brown.
Whoa, that is wicked. That is wicked tiny.
So
wow.
They're so tiny. They're so small. So I just kept like they're called Pseudophrys langigera. I think I called the common names like fleecy jumping spider or something. I just kept like a couple in a jar. I just had them and I was like observing them. I was like, yeah, these guys are actually kind of chill. They're kind of cute. Just kind of looked after them. Obviously, I didn't know anything about like keeping invertebrates at the time. And then from there, I started keeping like Heliophanes species, which is the sun jumpers or something. And then Salticus senecis is a really common one. So I kind of expanded out. I was like, yeah, jumping spiders I'm chill with. They're really cool, cute guys. They do really cool behaviors. They can like watch you and stuff. And I feel like that's like a whole premise for like how popular jumping spiders have become, especially in like recent years, because they're just such a cool animal. But yeah, it just got to the point where I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm scared of spiders as much. And then I jumped onto house spiders, which is like a huge jump. And I was like, yeah, I'll just see how these guys are. I kept one. I was like, you know what? It's not too bad. And then I handled one. I was like, okay, spiders are kind of cool. They're not as bad as they seem to be initially. And yeah, it was around that time I got my first jumping spider from a vendor. His name was Lucas. He was a Phidippus for years. He was so cute. And then from that, that's how I got into TA. And that's how everything started pretty much. So then I decided, you know what? I like bugs. I keep spiders. I'm going to do a degree. Because I can see myself being really happy in this sort of like career, this field. And in the UK, there's only one uni that does an undergrad degree in entomology. There used to be a lot more. Yeah, there used to be a lot more, but there's only one left. So I just thought, you know what? I'm just gonna go for it.
Wow.
And then 4 years later, here I am, and I have a first class honors in entomology. And I specialize in arachnology. So yeah, it was kind of a last minute decision, and it's kind of made my life. And I'm very thankful for like the tiny little jumping spiders for being so cute, because I definitely wouldn't be here without them at all. Wow. Yeah, so yeah, from my time at uni, I started keeping tarantulas and stuff. Kind of expanded out, and yeah, my focus really is jumping spiders. And then from my time at uni, it kind of reignited this passion because I took a little break from social media. Because at the time, at the beginning, I started posting like educational content and like city content on like TikTok and YouTube. Right at the start, just to promote them and just be like, yeah, they really aren't that bad. Just give them a chance, sort of thing. So it just kind of grew from there, and then it got to a point where I just had to kind of shut off from it because I was getting way too distracted. So I kind of vanished for a bit to focus on my studies, and then during that time, the spider passion really set off, and I focused on studying UK natives mostly. Especially during my placement year where I worked at a museum as an entomology curator, well, assistant entomology curator. We did a lot of surveying, and I met a lot of really awesome guys, especially in arachnology. You guys might have heard of Richard Gallen. He was a guy who described quite a lot of tarantula species. Imera is one of them. He's a really awesome guy. So I'm in close contact with him. He's helped me a lot with like ID and stuff. But we do surveying and like stuff together around like UK basically. So sometimes we just like on a field day together, and we're just like, look at this really cool spider I found. And then afterwards we're just like IDing our spider batch, and we're just like, yeah, did you find this one too? I found this Nashi scarce one. And oh, what did you find? And then he's like, yeah, I found like 5 Nashi scarce, 1 Nashi rare. I'm like, oh my god.
Wow.
It's actually insane.
That's super cool.
And then,
whoa.
Yeah. And lots of really awesome entomologists as well. I obviously got to, stray away from just like arachnology stuff. There's a lot of really awesome entomologists too. One of the guys who was a volunteer at the museum, he was in like his 90s. He used to go there like once or twice a week, and he was really big into spiders, but he's also an ornithologist mostly. That's what he spent most of his life doing. But yeah, I hope he's all right. But yeah, he's really knowledgeable as well. So I got some really great tips from him. And then from there, when I came back for my final year at uni, that's when I kind of went straight for doing my dissertation on spiders. And that's when I was really committed. I just committed to it. I was like, yeah, no, this is what I want to do. And then I did my dissertation. And then that's a whole different story. But yeah, that's pretty much like the ballpark of like what's happened.
At what point in the process of getting the degree, because this is something I'm always curious about with people that sort of specialize in already sort of specialized field, but like you're going for entomology, but at what point do you say, okay, I'm gonna like, is there some sort of set of classes you take where they're like, okay, if you're wanting to do arachnology, then you need to, you know, at this fork in the road, you need to go left rather than right. Like, what's the process of officially saying like, okay, I'm doing arachnology? Like, it's entomology, but specifically, I want to do this.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a gray area, to be honest, because especially for like undergrads, you just kind of do like a bog standard degree. I'd say like with postgrads, that's when you specialize, and then that's when you go and be like, yeah, I'm gonna be a entomologist, I'm gonna be a nematologist and stuff like that. For a lot of my assignments, I basically just focus on spiders. Even in like stuff like animal welfare, stuff like animal behavior. I did stuff on jumping spiders for that. I've talked about native spiders, and then I think it got to the point where, because obviously I had, especially during my placement, where I've done a lot of survey work, I've done a lot of collecting, IDing, advising, stuff like that. And then I think it kind of secured it once I did my dissertation, because that's when you really specialize, and especially when you're doing like a research project, solely focused on spiders or like an arachnid. I think that's kind of when you can be like, yeah, this is kind of my speciality. That's my field that I know about most under the entomology bracket, quote unquote. And I think after IDing like and capturing 3,000 odd spiders, I'm pretty able to call myself that. But yeah, I think it's a pretty gray area, to be honest. It kind of the definition kind of like varies.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Well, it's like medical stuff, Phil. Like, what makes a doctor say, okay, I'm going to be a nephrologist over a cardiologist?
Residency matching, and there's tests for that shit. Yeah, that's a whole nother can of worms. Yeah. Sharpie, can you talk a little bit about the collection process? And then also, No brings up a really good point about some of the specialized tools that you would use to do said collection. I was thinking about that as well, because like, are you essentially just like walking around looking for spiders, or is there like traps you set? Like, what's the word there?
So yeah, there's different survey techniques. There's all sorts you can use. It kind of depends on what you're looking to study. So for example, my dissertation, I was looking at most ranges of spider fauna. But it was within agriculture, so agricultural sites are pretty much like on the ground. So I used something called a vac sampler. It's basically just like a reverse leaf blower. And it basically just scoops up the spiders into this little sock at the front, and then you just empty them on the tray, and then you scoop out whatever you want with a little device called a puta. Puta is like a little chamber connected to a tube, so you can quite easily like suck the spiders into the chamber and then put them into alcohol or whatever you want to do with them. And then there's also, if you want to do like epigeal spider studies, this is a lot of especially in agriculture, a lot of studies focus on epigeal spiders. So epigeal spiders are just ground dwelling spiders. So those are like your lycosids and stuff like that. That you just happen to fall into pitfall traps. That's like the main, from what I've done with my dissertation doing lit reviews and stuff, that's the main survey tool that has been used. So obviously with that, you don't get as much diversity from that. So you kind of have to think about how much like do I want to survey? Am I focusing on like a certain stratum, or do I want to try include everything? Do you want to be as comprehensive as I can? So that's why I chose a vac sampler. I could have probably done beat something as well, which is just where you bash a tree and then you have like a sheet on the bottom. And it's like, oh, let me bash this tree and then pick up any spiders that are on the bottom. But there's like loads of survey, there's so many. And there's loads of like new things coming out as well. Like vein traps and stuff like that. Those also can have some spiders in them. But yeah, it just kind of depends. It just kind of depends on the research, and then yeah, how comprehensive you want to be, and like what tools you can use, what's accessible to you basically. I was really lucky in the fact that I had quite a lot because obviously I was a uni. And we had a lot of entomologists. So yeah, I was just like, yeah, can I just use your vac sampler? And he had like 3 of them anyway. I was like, yes, please. That'd be so good. So yeah,
Oh, that's
it
awesome.
just kind of depends. It just kind of depends.
That was a very well thought out,
I
complete
could look
answer.
up a vein trap because I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, I've never heard of that either.
It's
You
like
should.
it's like I don't know how to explain it. It's like a plastic, like it's like a plastic thing with like a funnel in the bottom that you hang into the trees. And then like anything that accidentally falls into it gets like siphoned up into alcohol at the bottom. And then from them bottles you can like divvy them out into different taxa to then ID. Usually like divvy them out per family or per order. And then usually you give them to specialists. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, I can't explain it.
Okay.
It's like a little thing that you hang up.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's quite a few versions. But yeah, they're more for like flying insects more than spiders. But you do obviously get like the bycatch from spiders.
Well, that's super cool.
And yeah, it's more like I think beat sampling is probably the best one for like arboreal spiders anyway. Yeah, there's a bunch. There's a bunch of different survey techniques. Yeah, I've used one like that. That's like the exact one I've used before. And yeah, just grabs them into like a little bottle of alcohol at the bottom, and then you can just ID them from there.
Huh. That's neat.
Really cool. Wow.
I want to set up
so many.
a buried bucket around my. I'm trying to get my hands on some of the native trapdoors, but they're hard to just go and find.
Yeah.
I need to figure out a way to get my hands on some. My buddy Gabe, who lives up the coast, he's a naturalist at one of the parks up there, and he has a couple of the drift fence setups, and he finds, I think it's Umidia in his all the time. So I need to set some up and see if I can.
Well, Hannes would love that, dude. He would be all over that.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. I wish we had more megalomorphs in the UK, but we only have one. We only have one. A typus affinis is the only megalomorph in UK.
That's pretty cool.
And they're tiny.
We have 2 species here, and then there's a purse web upstate.
Purse webs are super cool, dude. They're wonky looking.
Wild.
Yeah, the Chelicerae are usually really enlarged. It looks so funny. Especially with the males, they're like usually quite big.
It's like a beaver.
It's crazy. It is, yeah. It's exactly like that.
Yeah, no, they're awesome.
They really are. Yeah, they really are.
What else are you working with in terms of species? Mostly just like jumping spiders, or you said you kept a couple tarantulas. Like, do you have any themes or?
Yeah, so not really. I mean, in the hobby wise, mostly jumping spiders. That's kind of my niche, I guess. Is it a niche anymore? I don't know. But yeah, it's the one I really focus on. It's more like animal welfare and behavior. That's kind of my specialization within jumping spiders. I've done like training programs with them before. Yuju's been really, really great with like teaching me initially like the premises of positive reinforcement, enrichment, that sort of stuff. A lot of that I learned from TA. I do have to say again, thanks TA. But yeah, that's kind of where I started off. And yeah, like pointer training and that. Yeah, shout out TA. Pointer training that is really doable with jumping spiders.
Well, what is that?
What is that? How cognitive, how good their vision is. So you basically associate a target. So what I've used is like laser pointers, right? Like a green laser pointer. You basically shape the behavior so that the spider recognizes this point is something they should follow or recognize. So you usually have like prey on it because they're super food motivated, right? So you usually have like a food source with it, and so that they associate that this is a positive thing. And then over time, you kind of like lessen the amount of time the prey is there, so that they kind of register that this point is something they should go to. I mean, it's kind of simple. I did a study. I can't remember where it was. I think it was in the UK, where they did command training as well. Basically, where they made a noise for the jumping spider to jump on command. which is really cool
Whoa.
and stuff. But yeah, pointer training's
That's
really
nuts.
fun. Yeah, I can't. There is a study on it. There is a study because they were like trying to. I think they'll mostly like researching the jump of the jumping spider and like the distance. But in turn, they also like taught the spider like when to jump.
Were they
Something
doing
like
it with
that? I
different
might be misremembering
species?
it, but I'm pretty sure. It was no, I think it was with one group. It's probably Phidippus regius. Phidippus regius are always used for that sort of stuff because of how popular they are.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'll probably have to find the paper and send it to you guys. But there is a paper on it, which is really cool.
I remember seeing there was a video floating around Facebook semi recently of them. They somehow temporarily glued some sort of crane like device to hold on to the jumpers, and then they put them on a like a ping pong ball or
I
something.
saw that.
And they had the moving thing on
I know
the
what
screen.
you're on about.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting too.
Yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah, it's for them to recognize, like, see, like, were they actively looking at the prey? Were they actively tracking it? Did they move their body to track it? And yeah, it was just like a little treadmill thing. It was really cute.
Mhm.
It was so cute. But yeah, they weren't harmed or anything, which is great. But yeah, it was really, really cute. There's a lot of really cool, like, purely jumping spider studies out there on behavior and that, even like species, like, particular. One spider I spoke about recently, Evarca cultivora, because I usually do like spider of the stream sometimes on my streams. I usually try and do it once a week. So I just pick a cool spider and talk about it, right? Evarca calicivora was one of them, and it's this one spider in Africa that basically only hunts blood-filled mosquitoes. Apparently, from studies, they are able to recognize the difference between male and female based on antennal structure. And they're also able to see whether this mosquito is blood-filled or not. And they'll always only go after the ones that are filled with blood.
Huh.
Which is really
they
cool.
can visually see
it is so cool. Yeah. So they can apparently see red. So they can identify that this mosquito is filled with blood. Because sometimes jumping spider vision can be really wacky. Usually they can only see like UV and green. Some have specialized lenses within their eye, like a red filter, so that I would see other colors as well. Usually red filter is the one that's more prevalent than not. But yeah, it just depends on the species. It's all really different, but yeah, they're so cool.
Wow, that's crazy. I did not know any of that.
I mean, overall, like,
and that's just one
spider-
example, right? That's just one species.
spider vision in general. I mean, I think at least with tarantulas, it's thought to be fairly poor and more of a sort of a photosensitive thing rather than like vision, if that makes sense. I don't. Can you touch on that
I don't
at all?
know. Yeah.
I don't really know too much about tarantula vision. Obviously, I know, like, in comparison to stuff like jumping spiders and wall spiders, it's kind of bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of
Right.
bad. They kind of have like different eyes for like different uses. But yeah, I think mostly of tarantulas, it's more like light and like object kind of seeing, like fuzziness. You know what I mean? Because obviously they more rely on touch and feel.
Yeah.
Compared to jumping spiders, which is just like purely visual. So to be honest, you can have like a whole like podcast about like the variety of like eyesights there are. It's like ogre spiders. Ogre spiders are also really like visual predators, and because of how big their eyes are, and because they're nocturnal predators, their eyeballs basically melt during the day because of how bright the sun is. So that the eyes they kind of their eyes like basically degenerate, and then by the time nighttime hits, their eyes are regenerated again, so they can see again.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
That's
it's
real?
insane. Yeah.
I mean, they also
it's
look like they
real.
have two magnifying glasses in front of their face, so I'd imagine any amount of light is probably just going to burn their retinas.
That's
Yeah,
nuts.
pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Banana Land.
With the
It's
jumpers in
insane,
particular,
man.
though, I mean, so we have, the two main eyes up front, but then what's the purpose of the other eyes past those? Like, do they all have certain functions?
So yeah, the primary lateral eyes and stuff like that. Yeah, there's like they kind of have obviously like the big primary eyes at the front. They're the ones mostly that they use, right? They can move these ones around. They because their eyes are shaped like cones. They can move those around. So those are the ones they mainly use. The other ones are kind of more for like judging like 360 vision around them, lighting, and also colors. So obviously,
Okay.
like if I don't know if you've ever had jumping spiders before, but like sometimes if you accidentally wave your hand over them, they'll immediately retreat because they feel like they obviously see something that's above them. So they're able to like distinguish
Okay.
lighting and shapes.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure there's probably a paper out there like defining like what eyes do what. I can't
Holy
remember off the
shit.
top of my head, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's licorice. That's licorice. She's so cute.
I mean,
Look,
so we have
look
the
at those eyes.
I see the pantropic jumpers
Yeah.
here everywhere all the time. Like pretty much anytime I see a
Mhm.
jumper here, it's a pantropic. And it's I've never kept any jumpers. The more I see some of them, the more I'm tempted to at least try them out. But yeah, like
Please, you won't regret
just
it.
seeing the I can't tell if and maybe you can sort of speak to this too, but like I can't tell if they're legitimately quote unquote smarter as to what's going on, or if it's just perceived that they're smarter because they're so much more visual and active.
Expressive. Yeah.
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 Um,
So right, it's kind of a gray area, right? So well, it kind of like depends on like what you define as like more intelligent. Obviously, like in the invertebrate arthropod world, they are extremely intelligent.
mhm.
Because we know that they're able to plan. We know that they're able to track objects. So we know they're able to define between different objects and stuff like that. Especially like between like sexes and prey and things like that. Um, we know quite a lot about them to just say, yeah, they're really intelligent. They're quite smart for an arthropod. Compared to a lot of obviously other things. But yeah, it's kind of a gray area because we don't want to anthropomorphize them, right? We don't
Right.
be like, they're this smart because they're so charismatic. Like this spider looks like it wants to be fed. You know what I mean? That's when it gets into the danger zone, quote unquote. Because then that's when how like overfeeding and stuff happening because we put our feelings on them. Um, so yeah, it just kind of depends. It just kind of depends. I know I mentioned it in one of my streams, in the Creepy Crawly Corner stream. People often ask like, can they recognize you? Can they recognize you between other people? It's kind of unknown. There's not a defining answer to that because there hasn't been a study yet, but there is definitely a possibility there that they do. We know that they can define between individuals of other spiders. We know that they can define between different prey. We know they can define between what's predator and what's prey, and like what's dangerous and you cannot eat. You know that sort of thing. Um, it's not out the realm of possibility, but it's kind of I don't want to say 100% yeah they can because a lot of people are doing that and they're just like, oh, it obviously knows me, it obviously knows me, and it's like we don't really know that yet. We don't know if they can recognize a person that big, an object that huge between
Right.
other people, if that makes sense. I'm sure there'll probably be a study sometime, and it probably will probably confirm it. I wouldn't be surprised if there was, because we just don't know. We just don't know, and that's the beauty of research and study. We can answer
Mhm.
lots of these questions.
Yeah. It just man, it continually surprises me how small like that some organisms can be so small but be so behaviorally complex. Like that's something I noticed with the thumbnail dart frogs when I was keeping those is like something that tiny.
Yeah.
Like a, if it you could even call it a brain, it's probably more of like a ganglia.
Yeah, a cluster of neurons. You know
But
what I
they
mean?
have the ability to have these complex relationships within the species and these complex behaviors and like maternal care. And you're just like, how is it possible that something that small can be that advanced, I guess is the word, but like it a lot of times I think we write a lot of stuff off when it's teeny tiny, like it can't possibly be smart or quote unquote intelligent or advanced. But the more smaller species like that I see, the more I'm convinced that that's not necessarily the case, because there's plenty of big stuff that's dumb as shit, that do have brains.
Yeah, that is very true.
Pointless. So.
Yeah, we definitely don't give them enough credit for how intelligent they are, but it kind of like goes back to what we know now compared to what we didn't know however many odd years ago. Because if you like compare like especially studies and research that happened in like the 50s and 60s, I know that was ethically questionable because of like we didn't know anything about like sentience or like pain with that sort of stuff.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of research was really, really questionable, especially with animals, because they're just like, well, they're not a human; they can't feel emotional pain. That was about it. But now we know so much more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got one of the. There's a farm here locally to me that breeds macaque for research purposes, and
that's wild.
They've had multiple escapes over the years.
That was my next question, dude. Yep. Do you just see monkeys outside sometimes?
No, it's kind of up the road from me a ways.
It's like the van that crashed.
Last year they had a handful of them get loose, and it took them somewhere between 3 and 6 months to get them all back.
What, they got them back, or like what do you even? How do you even do that, dude?
What?
They're just looking for monkeys.
Yeah, dude.
What's the vibe there,
insane.
dude?
And that lab, or not, I won't even say it's a lab because it's not a lab, but that farm has like a terrible track record of taking really shitty care of the animals there. And Doc Brown, who we've had on some of the snake shows and stuff, worked there for like a year. And he was like, dude, that was like the most depressing year of my life. He's like, that place, he's like, I could not, he's a vet. Like, I couldn't do it anymore. He's like, it's so sad. And I couldn't do that. That's,
no,
I'm not into it meant, like orcas, something that psychologically
that intelligent.
Yes.
Like cetaceans and that. Yeah, they're so intelligent.
Yeah, I can't. No, that's crazy, man. That's almost as wild as the chimpanzee attack we were discussing with Juice. That's one of the craziest things I've ever talked about.
It always goes back to chimps.
Dude, chimps, man, they're so strong and so fast.
They are. They're so scary.
So scary.
Yeah. Even when they're small, like they're stronger than you.
Yeah. No, I'm just a Phil.
Infant chimps, infinitely stronger than me as a 6'4", 260-pound man. Small chimp could fuck me up easily.
Yeah, imagine arm wrestling a chimp at your size.
Not gonna.
Justin.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I have no upper body strength to begin with, so I'm screwed.
Yeah.
Oh God, I feel you in that.
I'm dead on arrival.
Yeah.
But you think about that, and just it just sucks because that farm, just like I said, has a really rough track record, and from everything I've heard, like they get a ton of funding. Like it's not a money issue. That money just doesn't go to the animals, which
that's fucked.
Like, come on,
that
man.
sucks so much.
Put them through what they put through. It's like at least make their life good. That's how I feel about my feeder mice. It's like they're being bred to be fed, and at least make them have a top tier.
Make them happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same like premise in agriculture as well, isn't it? Ideally,
absolutely.
Ideally, anyway.
Absolutely. Sharpie, can you talk a little bit about some of your notable finds that you've recorded or that you've found, I guess?
Oh yeah. I definitely can. Kind of draws back to my dissertation, which I can talk a little bit more about as well. I have a little list. So all my records, all my records go into national databases, right? In the UK, usually iRecord is used because it basically your records get verified by a regional recorder. And then within those, there's like recording schemes. There's like a recording scheme for like everything, to be honest. So there's like spider recording scheme that's under the British Arachnological Society.
Wow.
Yeah, so they have their own. There's like Staphylinidae recording scheme, which is just like one group of beetles. Yeah, there's so many. Anyways, so yeah, they all go into national databases, which is really cool. So you're obviously like contributing to how often we're finding these, like where we're finding these, and then if there's a decline or if there's an increase, and then if like any conservation efforts are doing anything. So I guess I'll start with my lesser. Well, I say lesser, nationally scarce. There's two things. There's nationally scarce and there's nationally rare. Nationally scarce is like kind of they're not as common. They're more locally aware, or like they're only found in certain areas in the country. Nationally rare is where we know population's declining. There's really not many records. They're kind of specialists. So with my nationally scarce, I think there's about like 5 or 6 species that I've recorded. Marpissa nivoi is a salticid, and they are dune specialists. They're tiny. I found one tiny male on a sand dune. It's like the size of like a grain of sand. I'm surprised I found him.
Whoa.
But yeah,
How did
they're
you find him?
quite they're quite specialist. It's the same with just grubbing. So grubbing is just where you basically just look for the spider. You're not using any
Just
like
grubbing?
tools to survey. You're
Whoa.
just kind of like picking through vegetation. Yeah, grubbing. That's what it's called. That's
Whoa.
actually what
Sharpie
it's
was
called.
just
It's called
grubbing,
grubbing.
dude. Grubbing with
So yeah,
Sharpie.
sometimes you just go grubbing. Yeah, I'm just grubbing, man. I'm a big grubber. I'm grubbing.
Wow, Sharpie's a big grubber. I didn't know that.
But yeah, I usually like I'm grubbing so hard. Big grubbers. Anyways. So, yeah, my visit Nivoi, it was during a field trip to this place called Anglesey in Wales. We did a study on sand dunes to test invertebrate succession from the dunes to this plantation of, I think it was pine trees. So we were basically just surveying along the dunes. So yeah, my Marpissa nivoi was one of the ones I found just looking. And another one I found, I think, is called Parapelicopsis nemeroileoides.
Whoa.
It's a money spider, Linifeidae. Very tiny guy. Is a little male. They have like a bulbous head. It's really funny. A lot of money spiders look very cool, especially the males. Some of them just look wacky. They're one of my favorite groups just because they're just so diverse and there's so many of them. And because obviously they're so tiny, you don't see them most of the time. You just kind of ignore them like, little black spider, I don't care. When you actually look at the males, some of them are insane. Some of them have like little eye stalks and everything. It's crazy.
Whoa.
So yeah, this guy had like a little bulbous head. And he had like 2 little eyes on his bulbous head. So that was another one I found. Yeah, these guys. So if you search up Vulcanaria, money spider, do you know how to spell it?
No.
Definitely not.
VO?
WALCKENAERI.
Exceptional spelling. Whoa, look at that thing.
Oh, why is that not? It might not
That's
be
a
working.
rhesus.
It's like a UK genus. I don't know if it's popping up because it's regional. Try Linifeidae. I can send you a picture if you can't find one.
Ooh, might
But
not
I'm
be a
sure if you
bad
just search
idea.
like money spider weird male, some pictures might just come up.
Money spider, weird. Same.
I'm kind of worried. Not
Weird male. Yeah, so
Nick.
weird. Why is it not? Okay, wait. The flicker one. Go back. It was like if you scroll down a little bit, there's a guy. He's like a brown guy between the red one and the green one. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Whoa, look at that little dude.
Look at his eyes.
What the heck has he
You
got
see
going
what I
on there?
mean?
Those are
So
his
this is
eyes, dude?
Yeah, so that's his cephalothorax. Some of them have really weirdly shaped protrusions on their heads. So yeah, they're his eyes.
What's the
Sometimes we
purpose for those
use the
protrusions?
structures. So it's kind of, I think it's been found out, but it's kind of theorized that they like produce these secretions on the top of their head to feed the female whilst they're reproducing for offspring health, and also to avoid being eaten by the female.
Whoa.
That's kind of what speculated happens. But yeah, loads of money spiders of all different genre have these little weird protrusions. Some look completely
Whoa,
different.
look at that guy. Oh my
Especially
god.
within. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's a
I'm
good
literally
image. That's a good
shook right
image.
now. That is
Um,
nuts.
yeah, the he's shocked. Yeah, I see that these tiny little spiders acknowledge them, and they're cool.
Those are tiny.
They look so cool.
They're so tiny too. That's crazy,
So
Sharpie.
yeah, so one of the yeah. So I've had to look at like so many of the like over 1,000 of these guys, not this species, but like money spiders for my dissertation on the microscope. A lot of them have these protrusions. That means you can quite easily identify what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can see his little eyes, and then usually you obviously use pedipalps, the little bulbous, to ID what species they are most of the time. But when they look like this, it's kind of obvious, which is why I like these guys so much. There's all sorts, and they all look equally wacky and cool. So
Whoa,
that's
is
what I
that a
look at under the
pedipalp?
microscope, and they're tiny.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a pedipalp.
Whoa.
So a lot of them look so different, and you usually use that to ID between different species. But yeah, luckily the protrusions make it so much easier. But a lot of the time, this isn't the case. So it's kind of we have to do the hard thing of just like looking at the palpable bulbs, and then also looking at epigynes and stuff like that, and
Do you use
dissecting.
spermatheca? Do you use spermatheca at all to ID, or is it mostly the palpable
Yeah,
bulbs and the
so
other structures you mentioned?
with with the males, you're mostly looking at the palpable bulbs, and if there's any other notable features like the protrusions on the cephalothorax. With
Yep.
females, we look at the epigyne. A lot of the time, especially with money spiders, it's really hard to see because obviously they're so small. Usually you have to dissect them. So you basically take out this section of the abdomen where the epigyne is, and then you put it in clove oil so it dissolves like the hairs and like the skin and stuff like that, the exoskeleton basically, so that you can see a lot easier the actual like vulva and everything on the other side, like you can't see because obviously the exoskeleton's there. So then you can use that to ID a lot better because some of them are really similar in terms of the epigyne structure. You have to dissect, and especially when they're tiny little like 2 millimeter money spiders, it can be painful.
So
It
how
So
can
I
be
can
so
imagine.
okay,
painful.
that sounds literally insane. So wait a sec, 2 seconds. This is banana land. So do you take like a cross section and then you throw that cross section in clove oil and that's what you're using to ID?
So it's like I'm just trying to think of how I can explain it. So it's like you know where you look at like on a tarantula, you have the spermatheca and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You have
Mhm.
Yep.
the epigastric furrow. Sorry. Um,
Correct.
it's like that top section, like between the from the butt lungs to the top of the abdomen. So you
Sure.
take that bit off. You just take that whole thing off. And then you
And
put it in the clove oil. I could probably send
is
some pictures if you want.
yeah, send them to Justin. That sounds literally insane. How do you cut that? Like, are you like Sharpie? Are you the one cutting? Like, do you have like a machine for that? Like, how does that work? It sounds like you need wicked
I
steady
can't
hand.
even get freaking molts unfolded under the damn
Yeah, I
microscope.
have sausage fingers. I literally have sausage fingers.
Uh, Yeah, so like you obviously not with my fingers, but like with like really precise forceps. That's usually the way I like dual wield the forceps and like try and like pull it off. Um, but
Whoa.
because my
You're
forceps are so
dual wielding?
precise, like you can kind of cut it. Yeah, like I use both of them to like one hold the spider and then one to like pull it off with like the tiny forceps.
What makes the
and then
forceps
you
so
get
precise?
it eventually comes off. Sometimes I rip it, but basically the tip is like so narrow.
Whoa.
So you get like different thicknesses, but yeah, some of them like really, really super small.
And are you using like a mic? Like, do you have like magnifying glasses on? Yeah, like what you like? Set the scene for me, Sharpie. Like this is literally crazy. That's so cool.
Oh yeah, no, for okay. So imagine me. I'm just sitting at my desk. There's a microscope in front of me.
Okay.
I'm looking down the microscope and I'm looking at this little pot with so that like little glass beads with a spider in it.
Okay.
Full magnification. And I'm using my little hands with my little forceps, and I'm ripping the spider epigyne off, the spussy off.
The spussy off. Oh my
Does
god.
Does that help?
Yeah, that's literally exact. You painted. That was perfect.
It's a spussy, you know. Yeah, that's
that
what
was
I call
literally.
it.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is. Like you're not wrong.
I'm
There's
glad
no
that
not.
helped.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
I can see it.
yeah.
I can
It
see
is
it in my
literally
mind's
that.
eye.
Yeah.
That is insane.
You can,
That is
yeah,
such a
you can
cool
visualize it now.
process.
Yeah, I'll have to send on my phone because every time I tab out my PC, I crash. I'm gonna freeze for a second. But yeah, I'm still here. I'm still here.
Do what you gotta do.
But I'll
Sharpie,
send you
that
some
is literally the
pictures.
coolest thing. Please, that is insane.
But yeah, I've done this with. Let me find my paper. I have the exact amount of money spiders that I need.
Holy shit!
It's like 1,000 and something.
Just casual, wicked casual. That's so casual.
Yeah, well, just a casual 1,775 linify a day. All to species where I can, and if they're an adult.
That is banana land.
Yeah, it's definitely tedious. It's definitely a long process, and it can be extremely fiddly. But at the end of the day, it's what IDism, where you can just be like, yeah, it's that. It's the most reliable way.
That's so cool.
So I'll send you a picture of what the epigyne looks like on a money spider. I'll just put it in the chat.
Do people keep money spiders in the hobby, or like these are all like? I don't know. I'm just asking. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just thinking because they're wicked tiny. So I don't know.
I wouldn't think so. There might be like one or two odd people out there who like really love money spiders.
Right.
And they're just like, oh, I just love them so much. I'm gonna keep them. I mean, sometimes people just find them and they're just like, oh, this is a cool spider. I'm just gonna keep it in a jar. You know what I mean?
That's what. Yeah. I mean, that's the only jumper I had. I found in my kitchen. You know, and I kept it in a little tube, and it was vibing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I can imagine exactly like that, but like just a money spider. And you do get like big money spiders too. I just put it in the thing. So that's under the microscope. So that little like
Sharpie.
that dark bit there, that's the epigyne. And you basically pull that off and then you put that in coil vial.
Justin, can you put that on the big screen?
I'm sending it to myself real quick. Hold on.
That's so cool. And what's you said full magnification? What's the number? Like, do you know off the top of your head?
I think mine's 45. So I think it's like 4,500 times.
Oh wow!
I'm pretty sure.
That's a big.
So
girl
yeah, this is one. Yeah, so it's like a proper like stereo light microscope. I luckily got it from my placement. So it was only 50 quid, which is really cheap. So I was very lucky in getting that. But yeah. Let me see if I can find this species I'm going to talk about.
Do you think about like even the microscope that I just got, like 20 years ago, that thing would have been
cutting edge.
You know, yeah, unbelievable. And it's like now you can get it next day, and it's on your kitchen table.
Yeah, and Sharpie's like, yo, I just got a 4500 mag right here, just like.
Yeah, I think it's that. Yeah. Well, I know, yeah, because I think it's 100 times, and then on top of that, it's 4.5 or 45.
Is that what you pulled off?
Yeah, so that's the epigyne / vulva. So that's the other side. So when you're looking at the epigyne there, the dissected bit that I pulled off, that's like the reverse side. So you're looking at like the inside of the spoosy, as it were. So you're looking at like the vulva and the tubes and everything there.
This is insane,
So
Sharpie.
yeah, I'll
This
come
is
on
literally
to that one
nuts.
because that one's actually relevant.
Whoa.
Thanks, thank you. So yeah, you can see like the structures of it, which is really cool. But I'll talk about this species next. So during my dissertation, I surveyed, for context, 2 field margins, a vineyard, a strip cropping field, and a conventional field. My whole premise of the dissertation was basically to see if there was any difference in spider diversity, abundance, and richness across these sites, right? So when I did it in 2 different dates. When I went out first, I think it was in April. And when I did my first group of surveys, when I surveyed the vineyard and it came to IDing them, this spider was in there. Also, you can't see the spider. This is just the part of the spider. This spider was in there, and it's a Mimesis trilobatus. This species is not native to the UK.
Whoa.
It's actually a North American species. It's again Linophiidae, so it's a money spider. It's the only one I found. When I went back to the same site, I didn't find it again. So obviously, it's a bit like, is it actually there, or is it just like a one-off? But yeah, it's the first recording for this area of the country as well. So the whole side of this country, it's the first one. So it most likely hitched or ballooned onto something. Because this species is really only found in London areas, because that's where it's obviously dispersed from. And there's not really any other recordings in this area of the country at all. So it's very possible it is a one-off, but we don't really know. But yeah, it's a North American species. It's not meant to be here, and it's considered invasive, kind of. We don't really know if it's having an impact on native fauna yet, so we can't really say too much. But all we know is that it's expanding a lot, and we're finding a lot more around the south of the country. So it's more than likely going to expand its range.
How far are they traveling, anyway, give or take? Like you say, it hitched a ride from London. Like how many? Like is it like, can they travel a far distance? Like,
so when they're ballooning, not really. They, for context, it's about like 200 miles away from London.
Oh shit. Okay.
So
all right, that's
it's quite a ways away. Yeah. So for this one to balloon, I really don't think so. It might be like possibly, we don't really know. Yeah. So I think it probably hitchhiked on agricultural equipment or on the vines himself. We don't know. We don't really know. I'd probably have to go back and do another survey. Because obviously I only had 2 dates to survey on 1 year. For a more comprehensive study, you have to do like year rounds for multiple years. So it could have very likely been a one-off, but it's a very interesting record for the country anyway.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of insane. I wasn't expecting to find it at all. When I first saw it, I was like, what is this? I have no idea what this is. I can't find anything in our native catalog that is showing this species, and then I had to do a bit more digging, and then found it's a North American species.
Wow.
Yeah, so like I wonder, do they do articles on them now? Because like we have every spring, there's always some articles coming out of like Georgia or something, the next state over, about the Joro spiders and how they're taking over, and they make it sound like they're these massive, 8-foot wide cat eating giants, and like legitimately the articles make it sound like we're doomed, like this is the end of times, the spiders are flying, and then you go and see them and you're like, that's smaller than the other, like the orb weavers we have here native.
Yeah, you got some good sized orb weavers down there.
It's just, and I don't know, I've heard we have them. I haven't seen any yet, but they just act like the sky's falling. Do they have species like
it's
that?
like every single year. I guess the closest would be Ceratona nobilis. But my eye is always out, and I always seem to find the really, really awful articles on spiders where it's like, oh, UK's deadliest spider is spreading so far and it will invade your home this autumn. That sort of
Mhm.
thing. Seattle nobilis has been here for decades. It's pretty established here. It's considered the most invasive spider in the world. Um, it's basically
Whoa.
almost invaded like every continent. Even though it's only come from
Whoa.
Canary Islands, it's everywhere, especially in Europe. It's very established here now. So especially it's already in North America, South America as well. It's in Australia. It's all over. It's in Asia. But yeah, they're very they're very hardy, very hardy. But yeah, I think that's like one of the main ones. That and like house spiders. Just
Mhm.
because they're like big, hairy, leggy spiders, and everyone's like, scary big spider, big hairy fast spider, and then articles are like, quick, put that in. We got to put that in. And it's like, well, what's the first? You do this like every year. It's really
Yeah.
not that bad. It kind of
Yeah.
reminds me of one I saw this year. It was so bad, right? So it was an article about Atypus affinis, so our only meganomorph, which is a purse web.
Mhm.
Tiny, they're tiny. They're only very small. Um, the article picture was a GBB. The article said
Oh.
it was a tarantula. It's known as a purse web.
Oh.
Yeah, it was
Jeez.
really bad, and it was saying it
Oh.
was invading homes. This spider is naturally scarce and is on the amber list. It's only found in certain environments in the country, so definitely not coming in your home unless you live on those sites. So it was like, why? Why? I don't get it. I guess it's just like fear mongering and just getting
Mhm.
like
They just
views,
Clicks.
but like
Yep.
Yeah, clicks
it's
and
just
views.
annoying. Yeah. It's just frustrating because especially when you're like you're trying to advocate for this stuff and there's just like really like bad articles that someone would believe, and it's like, please, no, it's not real. Trust me.
I don't
But
know
yeah,
how
it
you can
happens
even
every
call
year.
that
There's
journalism.
so many really bad articles.
Mhm.
I know it's just misinformation, disinformation, whatever you call it.
Insane.
Yeah,
What
I guess we
about
can.
bioactive setups for jumpers? Is that something you've
Yeah.
dabbled with?
So yeah, bioactive setups. Yeah, yeah, I'd say so. That's usually what I give my jumpers. Most of the time. It's something that is, I hope, is becoming more popular in the hobby. I really think it has been. Um, and it is like one of my most popular videos as such, especially the one I did on YouTube. It's kind of making people aware of like the positives of bioactive enclosures, for enrichment factors for jumping spiders. Because obviously, when we want to keep a spider in captivity, I feel like our main goal should be to make it as naturalistic as we can, so that they can exhibit natural behaviors and such. So
Mhm.
obviously, we want to accommodate them and stuff like that. I know with jumping spiders, especially with how mainstream they've become, dollhouse setups seem to be very, very popular now. Um, Whether this provides all the enrichment factors that we can for an optimal setup for the spider, it's very debatable. Some people are like, yeah, it does that. They live in houses. Like, what's the difference? And it's just like, well, the difference is, you have this tiny little setup. You want it to be like at least enriching and enjoyable for your spider. Um, and it also just eliminates the risks that come with doll houses, like injuries and stuff like that. And especially when they're getting older, or they're going to be in pre-molt, they get a little bit slippery. Um, and then with like naturalistic enclosures, you have plants, you have things that are constantly changing. You basically have like a self-sustained setup, that is very beneficial for them. They can interact with all sorts of things. Like and during the time I've kept jumping spiders in bioactive enclosures, they've always been really active. They've always like just like explored everything that they can.
Mhm.
I don't want to say they seem happier because that's anthropomorphism. I don't want to say that.
Right.
They seem to, um, utilize what they have a lot more, and especially when there's changes and there's stuff like plants in there. A lot of them like make hammocks from the leaves, and they kind of like sometimes roll them up. So it's really cool to see that.
Yeah.
They just exhibit behaviors I think you wouldn't really see in these quote unquote dollhouse setups. So in my eyes, it is a lot more beneficial, and I tried to get it out there, and that it is quite easy to do. It's not as intimidating as it seems. It can be as simple as putting like a few plants in, a few sticks, and that's about it. But obviously, like as long as it replicates that environment, as long as it provides them with a lot of enrichment, it'll be beneficial for them in the long run.
So with these enclosures, are you putting like a bunch of springtails and stuff in there for like any poops or whatever? Like
Mhm.
I would imagine that you wouldn't
Yeah.
put like isopods or anything just because they could potentially eat the tarantula in molt. Like what are you doing in that regard?
Yeah, so with my ones anyway, yeah, I usually use just like springtails. That's the main
The
I've
go-to.
probably
Yeah.
used because it's bioactive. Yeah, they're the go-to. Um
Yeah.
I have used wolfite isopods in the past because they're obviously like tiny.
Hmm.
However, I haven't had any issues with them in the past, but I don't use them anymore just because there is that potential risk. Um
Hmm.
Obviously I'm trying to eliminate as many risks as I can.
Right.
So I just use springtails for mine.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That's yeah.
What's like with the as popular as jumpers have become, uh I've seen so many varying setups. Like I was just at a show last weekend and noticed like the dollhouse setup, like you were talking about, where it was a table that was selling like the
Yeah.
acrylic enclosure with a bunch of 3D printed like furniture and stuff. And my first thought was like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. But the uh,
Yeah.
the like, what size enclosures are you keeping jumpers in? Like, do you find that giving them more space seems to be better overall? Like, are they, you said they're utilizing the space if you give it to them, but like I see a lot of what I would consider small enclosures, but I also don't see a lot of large jumpers. So, what's the
Yeah.
ideally, what do you think the
So
enclosure sizes should be for most species, at least that are kept in the hobby?
so for like something like Phidippus regius, because I can be talked about on that because it's
Yeah,
like the most
that's a good
popular
one.
one.
Mhm.
Um
Yeah.
I usually for an adult, I'm looking at 20 by 20 by 30 centimeters.
Holy
I believe, and
okay.
from what I've seen with my ones anyways, because this is all from my experience, my opinion. Um, they will always utilize that space. Unless it's a really old or ill spider, they will always utilize the space you give them. Unless they're having issues or difficulties eating, um, which probably is from other issues as well. Um, like if it's a spider that's like missing limbs, for example,
Mhm.
then you probably want to downsize to help them make sure they get foods. Um, but most of the time, they will always use the space you give them. They're so active. They're so intelligent. They'll just explore everywhere as long
Mhm.
as you provide clutter. This is one big thing I've been talking about recently, especially with advisories. A lot of people, especially like this is the issue with Dollhouse as well, they're very bare bones. They don't really provide many platforms. They don't provide much shelter. Um, they don't provide them different textures for the spider to utilize. So clutter is very key, but obviously not over cluttering that they can't build anything or they can't really
Right.
like go anywhere. Because you got to remember these spiders are often, even though sometimes you see them like around on fences or like on buildings, most of these spiders are in bushes which are quite dense or in canopies.
Mhm.
So we want to, try and replicate that. Obviously, that they're obviously, small. Um, so we can only replicate as much as we can. But with adults, I always recommend 20 by 20 by 30 centimeters as like optimal setups. You can do like 15 by 15 by 20, which I think is like the most common one for people to use. But I think just any space you can give them, the better. Really, obviously, you don't like to have a huge enclosure like that's extortionately massive that they would definitely like get stressed out in.
Right. Well, that's the
It's like
problem we
there's
have
like
here
a
in the
limit, right? I
States.
don't know. I can't really say what that limit is. Yeah,
Yeah, like people are
yeah,
wanting, telling people keep baby corn snakes in 40-gallon tanks. It's like,
Yeah.
why? That doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense. Like you're gonna have nothing but
yeah,
problems. Like, sure, a 10-gallon, why not? Still a little big in my opinion, but it's just like it's crazy. And for my fellow Americans, 20 by 20 by 30 is roughly 8 by 8 by 11
yeah, yeah.
inches.
Sorry.
And that's like super
Thank you,
reasonable.
Bert.
That's like not a
Yeah,
lot of
that's not-
space
that's not
to.
crazy.
That's like a wicked reasonable
Yeah.
enclosure. You know what I mean? You're not breaking the bank in terms of space in that regard. That's super viable to give a jumper.
Yeah.
I would agree. I would agree. Now, when they're like, do you just kind of like toss prey in there, or do you tongue feed them? Like, what's the word there?
So yeah, so this is something as well, right? That I've noticed a lot recently. Tongue feeding does become an issue. Because tongue feeding, because of obviously how intelligent they associate tongues as food, and they can easily just attack the tongues and accidentally break their or hurt their fangs. So I usually
Mhm.
try and stay away
Whoa,
from tongue feeding, and just try and free feed. A lot of people use little dishes as well. That's also a really good idea if you're having like mealworms and stuff in there. But I usually go for flies because obviously flies will be more active and they'll be more towards the top where the spider
Right.
is. Um, and same with locusts and stuff like that, roaches. If there is a case where you have to tongue feed, always use rubber tips because that reduces the chance of them hurting their fangs. But yeah, they do associate the tongues with food, and then they'll attack the tongues. Even if you don't have anything on it, they will often just attack the tongues,
that's
which
crazy.
is really funny. But yeah, it's insane. Yeah, it's insane. It's happened with a few of my girls that I kept at the like right at the beginning, because I didn't give them enough credit, but they will do that.
Wow.
So that's my main sort of why I haven't gotten into true spiders really, aside from like Latrodectus stuff in previous years, but like just the lifespan of them is the same reason I never really took on chameleons a whole lot. It's
Mhm.
just the lifespan. Like, I feel like you get attached to them and
It's
you really enjoy them, and then they're kind of just
mhm.
they're
They're
gone.
they're
And
gone.
that's kind of been
Yeah.
my main holdback for getting into true spiders and jumpers in particular. I mean, what's the average
Yeah.
lifespan of a female Regis?
Yeah, so it is unfortunately the case with these guys that they're so like charismatic, and they're so cute, and it's just such a shame that they live so short. Some of the girls I've had, they've lived up to 3 years almost. Most of the time, they live between 2 and 3 years, in my
Yeah, that's even
experience,
longer
as
than I
long
was
as you
thinking.
keep them right and you don't overfeed them.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then with males, obviously, it'll be a bit less, between 1 to 2 years. Um,
That's still
and
not bad.
especially
Like,
yeah,
like
that's not bad.
hardcore ones.
that's not bad at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Obviously, depends on like what age you buy them at. Because if you're buying like an older
Hmm.
spider, obviously you won't have it as long.
Mhm.
So if you get it like a young juvenile, like usually around I6 is usually the one that you tend to go for. You'll have them a lot longer. It is a bit more fiddly and a little more risky having a younger spider because obviously they have high mortality rates and high amount of offspring for a reason, right? Not all. Sometimes there could just be
Right.
freak things wrong with them that you just don't know what happened, and then sometimes they can just die for no reason. Um,
So
Obviously that comes with the fact of having smaller ones, but yeah, most of the time when they reach I6, if it's a good vendor, I haven't had any issues with mine. Touch wood. Um, you will have them for quite a while.
with the males, right? I know Dritz does this, and this is kind of the school of thought that I've been taught, I guess, is like with the male tarantulas, we keep them in smaller enclosures just so they're not walking themselves to
Not
death,
using as
and we
much.
we also keep them a little cooler so they don't metabolize as quick.
Yeah.
Is that something that, first of all, is that like viable? That's just kind of what I've been taught, I guess. And then is that a thing you do with your male jumpers? Like how does that work?
I guess it depends on like what kind of life you want for them. Obviously, I don't think there's like too much research into like whether that's actually a thing or not. Um,
For
I
sure, for
usually
sure.
always keep my boys in like at least 15 by 15 by 20. So I for me, I want to give them as filling of a life, as enriching of a life as I can, because I'm not in it for obviously breeding and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So I think it depends. It just depends on like why you're keeping them and what purpose you're keeping them for. If it's for breeding and it's kind of things like that, then yeah, it's understandable. But I don't think there's like much research out there yet like confirm that will help them or
Right.
not. So I can't really say. But I can imagine that it maybe helps in some aspect, but it could also just be a chance thing. I'm not too sure. But obviously, like keeping them at like cooler temperatures will like slow that metabolism. Same with not
For
overfeeding
sure.
them.
Mhm.
Because yeah, a lot of people fall into the trap of because they look cute when they're chunky. Lots of people
Yeah.
tend to overfeed them.
Snakes too. Snakes
Yeah.
Which
too.
I'm sure is the case with a lot of snakes especially, yeah,
With
and
any
lizards and stuff like
reptile or
that.
anything
So
like that. Any pet, really.
yeah, for sure. For sure, yeah. Even dogs and cats, you know, the most like disease out there is obesity, right? With the dogs and cats.
Yeah. Humans too.
It's just us like anthropomorphizing them and stuff like that. That's just like a thing, unfortunately, that humans just tend to do. Um, it's just kind of trying to separate that from our feelings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
What we want, basically.
I
But yeah,
think
it's
we
just
just
it's just
we struggle
it's
to
just personal preference
see the
and
context of
personal thoughts on it.
how little they need. Like, we have to eat multiple times a day, and so we think that
Yeah.
something
Oh
else
yeah,
has
for
to eat
sure. Yeah.
regularly. Like, we can't. A lot of people struggle to
100%.
conceptualize
Yep.
a slow metabolism and like how little snakes, spiders, scorpions, like depending on the species. Obviously, there's exceptions, but like
Mhm.
the rough-scaled sandboas, for example. I've got that male that's
Blood
going on 2
pythons,
years of
dude.
not eating, and people are like, "Oh my god, it's is he okay?" And I'm like, "He's fine. Doesn't care.
Yeah.
Completely fine." And it's like they're
Dude,
built
that's
to
Yeah.
crazy.
run on
100%.
nothing. Same with green tree pythons. Like they are built to run on nothing. And it's so easy to get
Yeah.
that stuff fat because their metabolism is so slow. Like even with cresteds, like when I was keeping cresteds, dude, it took no effort to get females obese. Like it was not hard, but it was really difficult to
Mhm.
get them to lose that weight without
Yep.
just starving them indefinitely.
Yep.
That's not going to do
Yeah.
good things for them long term. So
100%.
I think people just have a really hard time, especially newer people that are, uh, in snakes in particular, getting into that stuff, and they're being told like, feed them once a week. Doesn't matter what size prey. Like if it's an adult, feed it an adult mouse once a week. It's like that they don't need it, and people
They
just
don't need it.
like, what do you mean? I just don't feed it? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
feed it.
Give it the
Give
winter
it
off,
free
actually.
time.
See what
Yeah,
happens.
it's crazy.
Yeah, for
It's nuts.
sure. It's 100% like new keepers that fall into that trap. I see it all the time. I usually advise people to look visually on how they look rather than to stick to a set schedule,
Body
especially with
conditioning.
like yeah, exactly. Body condition's a thing, right? So usually like comparing the abdomen width to the cephalothorax width, and then judging from there if they've eaten, if they're hungry, stuff like that. Because obviously they metabolize different rates depending on age, depending on setup, depending on
Mhm.
temperature, stuff like that. So yeah, a lot of people fall into that trap, unfortunately. But it's just learning what is good for them and what's not.
Yeah. I don't even really blame the newer keepers. I blame the people that tell them that's exactly how they have to do it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Because there are
Yeah.
also people that have
yeah,
probably
yeah.
been
It's
in
never their
long
fault.
enough to know
Yeah,
better.
yeah. It's just like the willingness to learn. As long as you're willing to learn and you're willing to educate yourself, then you can never blame the fault of a new keeper. And it's like whenever, especially with TA, because it's a great community. I just have to say that. We never
It
ever, you
is.
never ever want to blame a keeper. Exactly. You never ever want to blame a new keeper. You don't want to, you know, call them names and call them a bad keeper and that. That is not their fault.
I
That
mean,
they've
you
made a
don't know what
mistake.
you don't
Everyone
know.
makes mistakes in animal keeping.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And as long as you're willing to learn and you're willing to listen to the people around you, that is the perfect thing that you can do as an animal keeper.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important to, have people around you that really kind of know how to give qualified advice, if you will.
Phil, are there overfed obese centipedes?
Indeed.
Probably. I mean, I don't
Know
know.
what an
I
obese centipede would look
I
like.
only feed my centipedes when they're hungry. Like you'll know if a centipede is hungry because it's a hungry centipede. And so if you don't have a hungry centipede, you just don't feed it. kind of how I operate, right?
Weird. What a concept.
I don't. Yeah, it's just like, oh, that centipede's hungry. I'll give it a roach, and it'll just like delete the roach. You know what I mean? And then some of them are just chilling. They don't want to eat. And it's like, all right, dude, whenever's clever, you let me know.
Delete the roach.
Yeah, they remove it.
I love that. Yeah, I love that.
Have you bred jumpers?
I have, yeah, I have. I kind of did it when I was in my off social media phase. I had one female. She was called Paprika. She was a Phidippus regus. She was super orange. She was a Florida P regus, and yeah, she was so cute. I only had one sack from her because I decided to freeze the rest of them because it was at the point where I was just so busy with uni.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to handle all these little jumping spiderlings, so I just kind of gave the ones that I had off to people that I knew. And yeah,
How
that
many
was
do
about
they
it.
have
I
in per
do
sack?
really want to get back into it, and especially since I'm now back. It can range. It can range. It really can. It can be like 15 to like 100. It really ranges. Usually
Wow,
around like
quite
30, 40 to 50. That's
oh my
kind of like
gosh,
the
that's quite a
average,
variance.
I
Yeah.
think. So it's yeah, it can be quite a lot. Yeah. It can
And
be
then
a
do you
lot. It can be a lot,
pull
especially depending on species and stuff as well.
do you pull the sack from the mom, or do you just let her kind of vibe with it?
I just had a vibe with it. I just usually
yeah.
I put the female into a separate setup, like a smaller setup, while she has her egg sac,
Yeah.
into one that's like baby proof, right? It's spiderling proof, so it's got mesh instead of like holes. So once the sac disperses, I put her back into her old enclosure, and then scoop the spiderlings out basically.
What are you feeding them at that size?
Usually, melanogaster fruit flies.
Okay.
They're usually the go-to for when they're that small.
Yeah, that makes sense. You always got to have the cultures on hand and stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I'm
100%.
liking these flower beetles
100%. And then also you can upgrade from there.
for the tiny stuff. Those
Yeah,
flower
flower beetles is one
beetles.
I've heard about a lot. Yeah. Also use bean weevils. I don't know if you guys have that over there, but I usually use bean weevils as well.
I believe we do.
Yeah. They're just like these little like round weevils. They're really useful and they're quite easy to culture.
I've never used them,
Bean
but I've seen
weevils,
them.
huh?
Yeah, I've seen
I
them
gotta
for
get
sale.
some bean weevils up here, dude. I need
Yeah.
some bean weevils. Yeah. Me and
Dude.
Dred's gotta scoop some bean weevils.
Does Dritz not have flower beetles?
Eating my weevil.
No, he has peanut beetles, he has flower beetles, he has mealworm. That guy has it all, dude. I
There's
just
no
pull up
way
and he's
he
got
does.
bugs. Yeah. No.
So
He's got
All
it.
of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the peanut beetles are sweet. Those were really helpful for feeding a bunch of the Hades and stuff that I produce. Those are excellent when they're really small.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've ever heard of a peanut beetle.
They're similar to the flower beetles. I think they're slightly larger.
Might be related. Might even be related. Sharpie. I don't know.
Yeah. I
So
don't
far,
know.
the
We don't
flower
really
beetles-
have many like beetle creatures here. Yeah.
Are you keeping when you have those jumper sacks hatch and you have babies and stuff? Are you keeping those together for a certain period of time? Are you then are you splitting them up fairly quickly? Sort of what's the process there?
Yeah, so obviously I'm not really too experienced with it, but from what I've been told from like other reputable keepers and that when it comes to breeding, and also studies as well. I usually keep them together for their first shed. Usually you can like separate them off into smaller groups as well, just because they can learn off each other, especially ones that don't know how to feed basically. They'll see others feeding and they'll be like, oh, wait a minute, that's food. But it's one that's it's kind of debated on. Some people find that it's better to have them separate. Some people find it's better to have them together. I think having them together definitely helps in some aspects. But obviously you have to make sure they're well fed enough that they don't turn to each other and cannibalize. But again, I'm not too experienced with breeding at the minute. but that's just what I've heard mostly, and that's what I did with mine, and I didn't really have any issues with it.
Could you like just head crush a cricket though, and put it in there, and they all feed on that, or is it put a bunch of Drossful in there?
You can potentially. They don't really go after pre-killed stuff. They can obviously if they're like young, very young, or if they're ill or whatever, if they're quite old. Sometimes they'll go after like pre-killed stuff, but for what we want to do when they're young is obviously help them learn these behaviors, because in future, especially when they go off to like a new owner, they'll have these learned behaviors that will then help the owner feed them way easier, way easier, and they'll obviously like know what to do. Because I usually like to cycle my jumping spiders like through a variety of prey options, and then obviously when you're doing that, you'll notice they'll get the hang of it, especially when it's like a bean weevil, because their exoskeleton is quite hard, right? Especially the elytra on the top.
Yeah.
They'll learn to either go underneath or on the head. So they'll learn how to deal with different prey, and then that's another enrichment factor for them. So yeah, that's just something I like to do. That's just my experience. So it might differ for different people, but yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So on the notes, sort of shifting gears, one of the lines is iNaturalist photos and the UK version of iNat. Why?
Shout out no for that one.
Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, this is something I kind of learned during my degree. I'm meeting loads of entomologists, right? And I brought it up earlier. That's our main one. Because obviously with iNaturalist, you just get like, obviously I don't doubt that these people know what they're doing. iNaturalist, you can just have like 2 people confirm this ID and just it be correct.
Yep.
iRecords, which is the one we use, there's for each region or each vice county, basically it's separated up into different regions, usually like old counties. We have a verified recorder, so that's like a specialist in different orders of insects and such like that, where these people are reputable, they know what they're doing, and they basically confirm your ID. So then that data from there, once it's approved, that can go right into recording schemes, or you can record on recording schemes under iRecords, or it goes to directly to national databases. And then also Ambient Atlas is another big one. It goes onto there. It goes on stuff like GBIF. It goes like everywhere. I feel like in the UK we don't really use iNaturalist too much for our national database because it's more like a citizen science thing. I think iRecord is more like a professional one, but it's doable for everyone. Never be scared to dip your toes in and join like a recording scheme. It's really beneficial for like also you learning. It's beneficial for the databases that are taking this data and taking the images of the insects or the spiders. And then that can really help what we know about these species, especially declining species.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
It's been a point of contention, at least in the herp side of things, for a while, because on one hand, it's like, we're seeing the bigger picture of certain species and their ranges and things like that, but then there's also people that are
poaching.
With great power comes great responsibility, and so it's iNat's great, but then at the same time, it's terrible because there's species that you're automatically giving away where they're being found, even if they obscure, within a certain radius where things are being found, people are figuring it out, and species are getting poached and stuff like that, and so it's tough. I think overall, like net positive, it's a good thing to have. But it is a bummer that there's people that use it for nefarious reasons.
There's always going to be people like that, unfortunately.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Citizen science is very good still. It can be very useful for scientists to use that data, especially when you have a lot of people recording.
Absolutely.
Like we have the big butterfly count every year under the butterfly conservation. That helps so much. It helps so much for us identify if it's been a bad year, a good year, and then what areas have these really valuable species. There has been a few species this year, I think, that have been found in new areas. which is obviously really, really good to know.
Wow.
But yeah, citizen science is very, very valuable as long as it's done correctly. iNaturalist, I also find it is obviously, with the poaching thing, that is awful. With looking at where these spiders are naturally found, like jumping spiders, I often use it as a source. I often use that as a source for like people who have taken pictures of where they found the spider and the local environment they found it at to then build my enclosures off and get some inspiration.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
really, really valuable for that.
Yeah.
Just like letting natural history kind of dictate your husbandry. That I mean, that totally makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Talk a little bit about like
Yeah,
moths
that's
and wasps.
my aims anyway.
Like I see that's on the
Moths
outline
and
too.
wasps. Yeah, so I used to do a lot of moth recording. Just as like a thing on the side. I used to do every year. So I guess that's like my entomology side. I used to record a lot on iNaturalist with my moths as well. I used to record like hundreds every year, and I used to take part of this thing called the University Moth Challenge, which was really fun. So basically, you compete against other universities with like moth recordings and what you found and how many you found. It's a really good activity to just like connect with other people. But yeah, again, moth trapping is like really popular, especially over here. There's so many people who do it. And there is a lot of specialists. There's a lot of specialists out there too. I know quite a lot of moth guys. I know quite a lot of moth guys, and they're really, really cool guys. But some of them just like only obsess over moths, and that's about it. Yeah, pretty much. Lamp.
There was a whole section on I don't know if it was arachnoboards or what was the other one? Like venom boards maybe, but there was like a section that was wasp keeping, which I thought was really cool.
Dude, wasp keeping would be elite.
That would be awesome, right?
Yeah.
If you just had like a hive somehow contained in something that was safe, that would be banana.
People were keeping them in like upside down critter keepers and like paper wasps, nothing crazy like the red wasp that we have.
That's
and like
cool. Yeah.
they would give them what I believe was something the equivalent of like hummingbird food type stuff and some other things.
Whoa.
This was 10 plus years ago, no longer than that, 20 years ago on arachnoboards and stuff. I just remember seeing pictures of people doing it. I'm like, that's actually really cool.
That's insane, dude. Oh
I think I saw a video somewhere. Yeah.
Like
I mean, it's basically like the step up from like ants and bees.
Oh, dude, Formicaria
it's just the next thing because obviously they're hymenopterans.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's a slippery slope.
Yeah,
man.
some people are really into ants.
Scared to look
any further. I can't even. That. Yeah, Sharpee. I can't even like. I'm not strong enough to stop hyperfixating on stuff. Yeah.
I.e. centipedes.
Mm-hmm.
I.e. centipedes. Yes, they're the current flavor of Phil right now.
Yeah.
Really having a blast.
Yeah. But it's cool though. It's really cool.
But are you doing anything with what like native like
yeah.
is there
I mean, yeah, wasps are just cool in that one, right, to be honest. I mean, not really, but wasps are just really cool anyway. Because we gotta remember most wasps aren't eusocial. Most wasps don't build hives. Most wasps are solitary. So eusocial wasps is obviously like with bees and ants. They create a colony. They have a queen. Yeah, that's the least of our wasps. Not many wasps do that in like the whole like the grand scheme of things. Most wasps are solitary. And most wasps are parasitoids. And they're really, really, really good at pest control. So in it's called like integrated pest management. We use a lot of wasps for like killing aphids and stuff like that in the more like what's the word? It's more like it's less it's less like intense. Like you're not using like chemicals or anything. You're just like using these wasps and you're just being like, go my wasps, and then just kill the
invasive,
aphids.
Yeah.
And there's so much research. My university does it a lot. Yeah, my university does it like mostly focuses on like IPM and like agricultural pests and stuff like that. So I've seen quite a lot, and I've used quite a lot of like examples like under the microscope, just looking at these guys and loads of different guys who just are used for IPM, like lace wings and stuff like that. But yeah, wasps are so cool. There's so many wasps out there that people don't really know. It's like whenever I speak to someone about wasps and I tell them, yeah, most wasps aren't eusocial. Most wasps are solitary. Most wasps are parasites. People are like, what are you on about? I'm like, yeah, we have like hundreds of species in the UK compared to like a small handful of like maybe 10 wasps, if that are social, compared to solitary wasps. And a lot of these solitary wasps are also really good pollinators. But yeah,
Whoa, wasps pollinate?
mostly really good
Whoa.
predators. And then some of them are really highly specialist. Yeah, so some of them are really specialists as well. So we have parasitoids, we have like super parasitoids, and we have like hyper parasitoids. So sometimes, obviously, a wasp will host on like an aphid, for example. Another wasp might come down and host on that wasp larvae, and then it might happen again. It's insane.
Whoa.
And some
So it's
wasps
like a
only go after like
train.
certain species of things. And yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. You can spend so long like researching different wasp species. Because there's so many out there and they're all so specialist, some of them, and some of them are like absolutely crazy.
Where are these
It's like
solitary
fake wasps,
wasps
I guess.
living?
Like fake wasps.
Like in trees and stuff? Do they make
Everywhere.
burrows like everywhere? What?
Everywhere.
What?
Yeah, some just don't like make anything because obviously they live within the hosts. Some live in the ground. Some live within trees. Some live within brickwork. Some live within like leaves. Yeah, there's so many. There's so many.
Yeah, we
What
get like the mud daubers here and stuff.
Oh, those guys are super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really
What
cool.
what species of wasp are you using for that IPM or that pest management? Is there a specific species or group that you guys are sticking to? Like
Yeah.
what's the word?
Um There's quite a lot. I can't remember off the top of my head the species, but you probably can find it quite easily. If not, I can send it to you afterwards. But yeah, there is like certain wasps that are really good at just attacking certain aphids. So some will only go after like peach potato aphid, for example. Some only go after like black aphids and such. It just depends on the wasp. Some of them are like more generalists, but a lot of them are specialists. So they only go after like either a species or like a certain group of insects.
So how does it work with like let's say you're, using IPM with some wasps on like some fruit or some vegetables, right? Like are there always wasps there or are there only wasps there for part of the time so that when the people need to come pick it, they're not going to get stung? Like what's the word there?
Yeah, so obviously these wasps are tiny. They're like a few millimeters, 4 or 5 millimeters probably, because obviously
Oh,
they're
they're
about the same size
super
as the aphid.
tiny.
Because they basically come up and just like jab them. Yeah, so they basically just come up and jab them with an egg, from behind, and then they just call it a day. They just go fly off and lay egg in another one. Um, but yeah, some of them just attack certain aphids, and then some of them you need like constant I guess like refreshing of new populations, but usually once you put a batch in there, they'll just repopulate until the pest population has completely been eliminated, and then they'll die off naturally. That's usually the case more than not. Because see, as long as they have a host, they can reproduce. But once the hosts run out, they don't have anything to reproduce with, so then they'll just die out naturally.
That's so cool. That is so cool.
Yeah, you can honestly like spend so long just looking and researching wasps, and there's also like cuckoo wasps as well, which are cool. So they'll just go after like
Wow.
bees.
Whoa.
I've seen one actually. One of the surveys I was on, there's this wasp called like a bee wolf. It's quite a big wasp. It's about like a 2 centimeters long maybe. And it was in like this sort of sandy sort of area, and I saw she was trying to grab something, and she had a honeybee, and she was carrying this honeybee around. Luckily, I caught her, and she has really big jaws, really big mandibles, to carry this bee around. But they'll just like get this bee, and then they'll put it in a they'll put it in like a little a hole, put the larvae in there, and then the larvae will just eat that bee. But it's like pompilids, right? Pompilidae are the spider, the spider wasp. So like tarantula hawk wasps and stuff like that. Pompilids are super super cool in the fact that they go after certain species of spiders. Usually it's epigeal spiders, depending on the species. But yeah, most of them are just like specialized in just spiders. And then also like get as many spiders as they can, paralyze them, and then feed them off to their larvae in these little chambers. It's so cool. It's so cool. And there's so many pompilids out there. And they're really cool. They're one of my favorite wasps. Even though I like spiders so much, they are my favorite wasps.
Yeah, they're it's pretty interesting. I mean, we've got I don't know how many species of wasp here, at least where I am, but man, like seeing people just doing that quick scroll of Reddit, the wasp keeping Reddit there. There's people like keeping yellow jackets, which is just wild to me because yellow jackets kind of suck if you get them. If you get stung by them, it ain't fun, and you're very rarely just getting stung once. There's usually it's a handful of them, and
for sure.
It's funny, man. There's just if there's something with at least one person interested in it, there's a place on the internet for it.
Oh yeah, 100%,
there's probably
100%.
a Reddit devoted to it.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the time, like these vespids aren't like out to get you most of the time. It's just sometimes like wrong place, wrong time. Sometimes I just sit down, like especially this year, if I'm having like a barbecue outside, if there's like a piece of uneaten like chicken, one of the vespids will just come along, and it should just keep coming back and forth with like pieces of meat. It's really cute, and I just sit there watching it eat. As weird as that might sound, it's just really cool to observe. Yeah. And then a lot of them I'm sure I've seen a video or something, but I'm sure wasps are probably intelligent enough to associate you with not being a threat. Especially if you're feeding them as well. Because they have that really good vision and they are like capable of learning. I don't push that past them at all. Especially if you're keeping them, I can imagine they'll just quickly realize that you're not a threat and won't try to sting you. I don't know that, but I'm just speculating. But I can definitely see that being a thing.
It's really wild. Cool. There's one guy in particular. I don't know. He has an Instagram and a TikTok or something. But he does like hornet removal and yellow jacket removal.
Oh, dude, I know that guy. Hold on,
I'm subscribed.
I'm literally subscribed to his YouTube.
Crazy.
Give me 2 seconds.
Oh,
it's like Hornet King or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. No, he's a man.
To remove them, but it's like they keep coming, dude. That just
I think I've seen one of their videos. Yeah. Some of these collies get like huge.
Yeah, there's been a couple times where I've been out herping and I heard the faint buzz of a yellow jacket nest and saw some flying around. And I was like, nope, going the other way.
Yeah, they're very very protective.
Yeah.
I gotta find this, dude.
I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but just watching it, man, is just wild because they just keep coming out of those burrows.
Yeah.
Hornet King, add Hornet King official. Add Hornet King official. Yep, that's what it is. That guy's unreal.
Especially considering that, like, most of the time, especially if you're in a temperate climate, these colonies only build over 1 year. So, well, not even that. So the queens like hibernate, depending on the species as well. So the queens will hibernate and then they'll emerge in like early spring. They'll build their colony and then they'll die off by the end of the autumn/winter. So in that amount of time, they're making that many offspring. It's kind of crazy.
Wow, yeah, that's like a real time crunch if you really think about it.
It's like what Santa and his elves are working on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, dude, they're grinding. That's nuts. To like, I don't know. 2 summers ago, there was a yellow jacket nest the size of 2 basketballs put together on the side of my house. And watching that guy remove it was so entertaining. Oh my God, it was nuts. It was like freaking huge.
I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine.
Dude was in like the full ghillie suit with like the duct tape on the sleeves. Like he had like the smoker and shit. Oh, it was this whole thing.
Yeah, that's crazy. And like a bee suit.
Yeah, straight up in like a bee suit, and every like seam
Mhm.
of his clothes was duct taped or electrical taped. Like that, you
They're
couldn't.
gonna
Yeah, it
find
was
their way
nuts.
in
Yeah.
Yeah, yes they are. Yes, sir.
Have
like
you
a face
seen
hugger.
yeah, have you seen, like, some of the videos of like, the giant, Asian giant hornet removal
Yeah.
people?
Yeah.
Those are
Of course
crazy.
I
They're in,
have.
like, full armor,
Like
and
straight
then,
up,
like, they're all in their face, and it's, like, insane.
it's like a unit of a wasp. That is a straight.
Yeah, I saw
It's like a
Oh, yeah.
refrigerator
an
flying through
article
the
the
air.
other day. There's some unfortunately a kid somewhere I think got killed by some.
Oh shit. I mean, if he went
Aw,
into
that's a
anaphylaxis or had some
shame.
sort
Yeah,
of
I
like
mean, I'm sure there was
hypersensitivity
some sort of
reaction,
Yeah.
like yeah,
there
it had
had
to
to
be
be
some sort of
something related to that.
comorbidity
I doubt it was the
for
actual.
sure.
It wasn't from the stings itself. It was from the
Right,
reaction.
yeah.
It's just wild, man. Because I bet you
Yeah.
that probably hurts, man. As big as those things are.
Oh yeah, that's got to be a decent wallop of venom. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's got to be a tablespoon of that shit at least.
Yeah. I don't know if it's, different in the UK, but we also have a Asian hornet, but it's not giant. It's not that everyone thinks of. It's a different hornet. They often use the giant Asian hornet as like the image that they usually put up because it's like, oh, like big hornet,
Yeah.
and it's not even the giant Asian hornet. It's like a completely different species. I
Yeah,
can't
it's
remember the
just
name off
for.
the top of my head, but it's a different one.
Mhm.
And they're about the same size as our native European hornets. But yeah, it's crazy.
Hmm.
It's crazy.
What
Again, media
tarantulas
doing
are
things.
you keeping currently?
Oh god. I have like I don't have a huge collection. I don't think I've got like 30. I think.
Okay. All right. Start listing.
So I off the top of my head, I've like I have brackies like Oratum, Homori, Classy of course. I love my
Yeah.
Classy.
Justin.
Her name's Chicken Royale. I love her. I've got some Pokies. I've got Metallica. I've got all this.
Ooh.
I've got Terraphos
Pokies.
Apophysis. I've got obviously Panther Species Mascara. I've got
Itchy.
some Cosmos. I've got Ceratogyris. Yeah, very itchy, very itchy. Hopactera
Ceratogyris.
creeps.
Ooh.
Yeah, Mashali. I have Mashali. Mashali is the best one in my opinion. I love her so much. Grandma
They're super
Solopod
cool.
creeps. Who else? Yeah, OBT. Obviously OBTs. Who else do I have? Kate Brunapez. I've got a new batch recently, courtesy of the really
Those
amazing people who donated to me.
I really want some.
So
of those.
yeah, Kate Brunapez. Yeah.
You were telling me about those, Justin. Yep.
I got Nandy's. I got
Also
yeah.
fun.
The list goes on. Off the top of my head, that's what I got. Oh, Eden Say, Electric Blue.
Yes.
What else?
Good.
Yeah, all
Kylobrachys
sorts.
are super cool. All
sorts.
the cool kids keep Kylobrachys. That's just facts.
Yeah, yeah. I really want to get some more. I really want to get some more at some point.
Well, thanks to Phil and Dritz, I have several.
So many Kylobrachys now. Dude, that Huahini is gonna lay a sack too. We're gonna have so many Huahini slings running around too.
Like I was saying the other day, man.
Oh
That's
my
a species
God.
I have zero interest in. They do
It's okay.
absolutely nothing.
That's all right,
for
man. That's okay. More for me. That's fine.
I have one.
Yes, they're super cool, dude. The males are almost purplish. Yes.
I love them. Yeah. My one is such a good
Sharpee.
eater. I love them.
Yeah,
Their
they're
name's
savages.
Vance. I love them so much.
They're
not sexy enough.
They really are.
They're beautiful in their own way.
Not enough. They are. They are. They really are.
I did
Any from Ingakylus?
I love mine, so I'm very biased.
Akaya.
Double what?
Nope. Any from Ingakylus, Sharpee?
No, I don't.
Not yet. Okay.
Not
All
yet.
right.
Yeah.
Not yet. That's okay.
Not
That's
yet.
a good
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, not yet.
Yeah, you're working towards it, Sharpie. I like that. That's like, that's the attitude we need to have here.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping maybe I could get a cheeky voucher from this tarantula vendor next week because it's my birthday next week. So I'm really hoping. Fingers are crossed. Because I really want to get some more teas. So yeah,
What are
we'll
you
see.
thinking?
We'll see.
What's on the radar? What's the top 5 on the hit
really
list?
don't know. I really don't know.
Oh, you're just kind of going in blind, seeing what you can do.
I don't know. I'm gonna say. Yeah, I usually because I streamed it last time when I was buying some tarantulas. I kind of let chat choose for me, and they came up with like really peak suggestions. So I might have to do it next time as well.
Naturally.
But Grandma Store Pokra is I know it's kind of like boring, but they're
Nope, that's
so
cool.
cute, like velvety and black. I just love that.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that, Sharpie.
I think yeah, thanks. Thanks. But apart from that, I don't really know. I'm really open to anything. I don't really have like a massive hit list. I'm just like, yeah, I really like this good bunch, but I'm like, I love them all anyway, so I can't pick.
I need more people on the Bambus train.
Yeah, look into Bambus.
Can't just be
Sharpie.
me.
I don't think I've seen much here. I don't think I've seen many over here.
Yeah.
There's probably one somewhere.
Some cobalt blues. Those are one of my favorite spiders in the whole world.
Yeah. I've seen a few of those. I do really like them as well. I do really like them.
It's a nice angry dirt spider. Never happy to see you, but very pretty.
I love an angry dirt spider. Yeah.
Yeah, me too, Sharpie. It's
like my
problem.
OBT Peanut. He hates me.
Oh, but it's so cute, dude. It's so freaking cute. I think it's so endearing when they're like, you know, I'm gonna just fall on my back. Yeah, it's super endearing because, like, obviously you're not gonna touch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna give it the opportunity.
No, exactly. Yeah. For sure. Don't pet it. Don't pet it. Yeah. That's the thing I like about tarantulas. They're just kind of like that observational thing. You're just like, oh, it's so cute in this little box. It's so cute.
Yeah, I don't touch it. I don't hold any of my teas.
I was telling a customer yesterday because he was asking, we got a snake at work and stuff, and he was like, "You ever take your spiders out?" I'm like, "No, not really." And it's like most of them you don't really want to, anyways. And then I was like, and the other ones, like, you know, if they take a decent fall, all their major organs are in their abdomen. They're probably toast. You know,
probably gonna explode. Yeah,
not worth it.
Yeah, I
got a Hamori recently though, and having never had one before. And embarrassingly, I have to admit, I haven't had a Smithy or a Hamori until 3 weeks ago.
That was my first spider, dude.
I love that freaking thing.
That was one of my first ones as well.
It's
awesome.
They weren't like overhyped, but I was always like, okay, yeah, they're cool. Like, this is neat.
They got some cool colors, man. Yeah, you're not wrong.
They're cool. I get it. I'm on board.
Yeah,
100%.
For sure.
They're no
Smithy's
classy,
even more so.
You know.
Yeah, true. I love my classy.
I gave all my brachypelma.
Oratum was up there too.
Yeah, classy and Eratum are probably my top two.
Emilia.
I haven't got an Emilia yet, but it's on my list.
They're cute.
For sure.
They're cool looking. Not that I would own one, but they're cool.
Why did you not own one?
Also, I mean, the last time that I was holding, I took that rose hair, that educational thing, and I got hair all over my wrists, not realizing it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But you know what's weird is I didn't actually start itching until the next day. I wasn't itchy the day of.
Oh.
Delayed reaction, dude.
Yeah,
took your body a second.
I'm at work and all of a sudden my wrists and my forearms are like, dude, what the? And I'm thinking about it. I'm like, okay, yeah, it was her because I had her out. I was handling her. It was for educational purposes.
Yeah, for the kids.
It's for the kids.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You suffered the
Wu-Tang is for the children.
Wu-Tang is for the children.
Wu-Tang is for the children.
But yeah, the everything else. So it's like I'm good. I don't have to handle it. It's like goldfish.
So
That's the way I look at it.
Unfortunately, I've had a Vietnam silver male on my hand, and I've had an HMAC male on my hand. Wasn't thrilled about it. It was, trying to save the male post pairing. Both of the females were like super chill, but you want to get them out of there. And Dretch was like, "Do you want to take a picture?" And I was like, "No, get this off my hand. Thank you.
Sure don't.
I don't give a shit. Get this off my hand.
No.
No, I don't need the clout.
That's
I need my hand."
crazy.
Yeah, I wasn't thrilled about it,
Yeah,
and like
very
that's
true.
never my intent. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Could have been worse. Could have been better. You
Accidents
can't win them
happen.
all. Yeah. At least it wasn't a peed. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, ooh, I don't know what would be worse.
True. Yeah, that would have been gone.
Yeah, peds are tough, man. I've only handled one ped one time with Johnny Venom. It was a Scolopendra gigantea. The attitude that the giganteas have is so much different than a Dahani or one of those old world species. The confidence that I saw in that centipede was unlike anything that I've seen before. Maybe I'm anthropomorphizing. Maybe I'm a Fruit Loop. I'm definitely a Fruit Loop. But just watching that centipede interact with Johnny and how confident it was and how like it kind of knew it was badass. Do you know what I mean? Like almost. I don't know. That's how I perceive.
You're holding it because it's allowing you to hold it.
Correct. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
like this. It was like this, guys. And like thick like this.
Mhm.
Oh my God.
Gosh. It was robust. A robust woman. She was a big woman. She is a big woman. I seen her. I seen her multiple times.
Seen it.
Mm.
I seen it with my eyes.
Yeah, anytime I see anybody handling venomous, like free handling venomous stuff, I'm like, dude, that thing's letting you hold it.
Yeah.
Pure and simple.
Yeah. That's how the
moment
peed
it's-
was.
the moment
Is
it's
that
over,
that guy who
done.
handled the venomous snakes? Yeah.
Which
Who's
one?
that guy? I forget his name. The guy who got bit by the venomous snake. He was like, "Oh, all of you people who don't own venomous snakes are like really childish or something," and he got bit by one.
Yeah, I know who
of-
you're talking
a lot of
about. He's
people.
from South Carolina. We're not going to say his name.
A lot of
to,
morons that do that.
Yeah. Smitty, you definitely know who I'm talking about.
I just
But
remember seeing about it. I was like, "Wow,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
that's
an inland
crazy."
taipan. He was a fruitcake.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
yeah. I forgot
Yeah.
about him for a brief second. Yep.
Yeah. He somehow
Yeah.
survived.
I didn't realize that many to remember
dude-
about. Oh my God.
That dude didn't deserve the hospital bed they gave him. If you ask me,
You're
in my
absolutely
opinion.
correct. You're absolutely correct. That's just unnecessary, and
Yeah, I
you're
remember
taking
people
antivenom
like.
away from
I
people who
remember
need it.
him saying like, yeah. I remember him asking for like anti venom or something.
Yeah.
From
I don't know if
Kentucky
that's real.
Zoo.
I just saw it like
saying
very
anti-venoms for
briefly.
pussies.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
Sharpie, that is real. That is real.
Yeah,
Nope,
yeah, that was it.
you're
That was
correct.
it. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
And you know what's
man,
dumb
that's
is like
crazy.
Jim and Kristen got a ton of flack for not giving it to him. Feel like you're just gonna let
Why?
a man die.
Yes, I am. I'm
And
keeping
it's
my
like,
staff and
look,
my animals
they've
safe.
got staff, and that is a species where the
need
antivenom is
it.
probably insanely expensive and not easy to get. And it's like, yes, we're not
Correct.
just gonna fork it over to this guy who's just gonna go home out of the hospital and do it
And do
again.
the same shit. Yep.
Like,
Yep.
no.
Yeah.
Why waste it? Why bother?
No, sir.
Like, I don't know where this thing where like someone does something stupid knowing they're doing something stupid, and now it's a moral obligation on everyone else to make sure that they're taken care of as a result of it is just absolutely asinine.
There's no need to free handle venomous like that.
Yeah.
I will make fun of. I will
No, just seems
bully
very
those
silly.
people into oblivion because they deserve it. You don't do something
Mhm.
stupid and then want everyone else
It's
to clean up
very-
your mess
yeah.
is insane.
Yeah, for real. It's very silly. It's very silly.
I don't know. I mean, like, what are your thoughts on like the Instagram accounts of people, having female pokies and stuff climbing around on their face and stuff like that? Because to me, it's kind of not far off from the venomous snakes in terms of like why, like what's the purpose of this other than attention? I don't.
The spider doesn't
Yeah.
benefit from the handling at all. That's kind of the thing.
Like if it's a situation like you were
Yeah,
talking about,
yeah.
Phil, where it's like, okay, we were pairing, male came out, somehow he just ended up in my
Dude,
hand.
he shot
Like,
out. He shot out like grease lightning. The
wasn't
female took a
purposeful.
swipe at him. You know what I mean? Yeah, I had to get him
That's
out of
one
there, dude.
thing.
Yeah.
But to be like, here's my female rufalata that's 9 inches. La 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 la.
All I'm saying is I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be me.
It gives me the
I don't
ick.
care if people
I
do
don't
it.
like
Just
it.
stop doing it on the internet. Do it without a
Yeah.
camera.
I think it's definitely like a clout thing most of the time.
No,
People are just like,
fuck
wow, look at this shiny spider on me. And I was like, I'm probably like, if you got the tarantula out, I don't think it's gonna be very happy about it. They've definitely like tried to calm it down in the time it's out. I've seen like one guy like intentionally get bit by quite a few of his tarantulas for a video, just like on YouTube Shorts or something. I don't know who it is, but I've seen a few videos of them. It's like, why?
People are silly.
It's for science.
Yeah.
My coworker was showing me because I was showing her. I was printing your shirts,
Yeah.
your centipede shirts, and she was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "It's a centipede." And she's like, "How big is it?" And I was like, "Well, look up Gigantia." And she was like, "Oh my god!" And then she, of course, saw a thumbnail for a Coyote Peterson video and was like, had me watch it. And I'm like, "What is the point of this? If it's for
Yeah.
education, there's people that have already made this mistake, legitimately, and they can tell you it sucks. Like, why do we have to?"
Mhm.
Why do you have to do it to yourself on purpose just to confirm? Like, I don't have to go stick my hand in a fire to tell you it sucks. Like, there's plenty of other people that have been through that that'll tell you, like,
Yeah.
that can confirm. I don't, there's no other purpose for it other than sensationalism.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, and there was a one guy who made the insect sting scale. I forget his name. He was really infamous.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, he basically just like documented the thing. There was his name is like named after the scale. Sorry, the scale's not named
I
after
don't
him.
remember the name of it.
I
off the
forget
top
the
of my
name
head.
of it, but that was actually for like proper research. Yeah, that was more like, I think that was more like, factual research because no one's really done it before. But we have that information now, and yeah, it's really interesting that people just willingly do it. But yeah, it's interesting to say the least. Some of the people who do it like for clout it's very silly.
Wouldn't be me.
Internet encourages stupidity.
Nope.
Not only is it encouraged,
for
but it's
clicks.
also celebrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. They basically get rewarded for doing something dangerous to not only the animal but to them.
Is that Rick and Morty quote? Your boos mean nothing to me. I seen what you people cheer for. I love it.
Oh my god. That's insane.
It's accurate.
The internet, man. It's a wild place. I'll never understand how the internet chooses its winners. Never.
The likes, man.
Just random chance. I'm convinced it's random.
It has to be at RNG.
I mean, it's like my whole TikTok thing, because I think TikTok got really big for me, just because of random chance. Because all I did was post some like jumping spider unboxing videos, and then they kicked off on the algorithm. They got millions of views. I'm like, whoa, what the hell? So something just happens like that. Sometimes it just happens.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's as easy to get the traction you used to on TikTok. Because I remember starting it out and like the comparison of quote, reels on TikTok compared to reels on Instagram, like the difference in people seeing it was massive. And I'm like, man, if TikTok's going to keep this up, like Instagram's in trouble. It's like you're actually getting seen, like people are actually seeing your accounts and stuff. But as of late, and I mean, I don't really post on the Fulvius TikTok really hardly at all anymore, but like it definitely doesn't seem as
more people using it, more fish in the pond.
Yeah, I don't know. It was wild because it was like stuff that on Instagram would, get maybe a couple hundred was like hitting a couple thousand. It was like, geez, I didn't even have to do anything. But now Instagram is 100% like,
for real.
You got to throw money at it.
Yep.
It's pay to play.
Yeah. I feel like the algorithms change all the time. It's really hard. I think, you just have to get really lucky. You have to get really, really lucky.
And consistent. You gotta be on your toes.
I don't even bother trying to keep up with what you need to do now for Instagram to get traction and stuff. It's like, I'm just going to post something. And it's like, whatever happens, happens. Like, who cares?
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah, that's what I usually do.
It's got to be exhausting trying to keep up with it all the time. I don't have
all your photography. All your photography is crazy on Instagram, Sharpie.
Yeah, let me pull that back up.
Yeah, just like some of the eyes and how these jumpers look like. Well, that's insane. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, that's another thing I've done on the side as well. since being in the hobby is just photography. That's something I've really gotten into. That's one of our native species here, Valka fulcata. Found her in a June. The males are really, really interesting looking. They're brown, but they look way different. But yeah, it's mostly my pets, mostly my. Oh, that's a really interesting one I haven't spoken about yet. So I was speaking earlier about naturally scarce and naturally rare. This is a naturally rare species called Rhizodromus phallax. It's a Philodromidae. Um, this was also during that same Anglesey trip. There had been a hectad records on the June, um, all the way back in 2011. And
Wow.
I managed to find one female in that same hectads 13 years later, which was really, really, really rewarding because I was grubbing around for ages. And it was me and my friend were on the front of this fortune. Bearing in mind, fortunes are like 45 degrees sand with
Oh
marram
shit.
grass everywhere. It was really hard to hang on to. So it was kind of overcast as well, so it was a bit damp. Um, but yeah, I'm surprised we found her. The only reason I saw her was because in the corner of my eye, I saw something move. I was like, what the hell is that? Because she's so camouflaged. It's like cryptic
Yeah, it's
camouflage.
crazy.
She's so blended in. You can barely see her.
Wow.
I'm really surprised I found her, but yeah, it's one of the latest records in the year for that species in the UK as well. I found her in November of 2024.
Wow.
And yeah, it's a really significant find. So it's really good news for that area because at least we know 13 years on, there's potentially a population there of this species. But yeah, the sad thing about it though is sand dunes in the UK are really, really scarce and really affected by a lot of um, disturbance and recreation and agriculture. So these habitats are really trying to be conserved at the minute, because there's a lot of very specialist species that use them, especially like pollinators and spiders. For example, Marpis navoi, they're only found on sand dunes really. And there was another one, I think, yeah, another naturally rare one I found at a different sand dune. I think it was the same year. Called Stylotata or something. Romanus. That's another money spider. That's another naturally rare one that was also found on the sand dune. But
Wow.
I've noticed most of the sand dune species specialists are either under naturally scarce or naturally rare for spiders.
Wow.
It's
How
yeah,
difficult is it to get
it's
stuff
sad but
to,
really interesting.
how difficult is it to get stuff to sit still to get decent shots of it?
Depends on what it is. Cause obviously, tarantulas don't really move too much if it's a new world.
Right.
So they'll kind of just sit there. But the jumping spiders, on the other hand, it's kind of something you have to get used to because they're always on the move. So you kind of have to just wait for them to settle down, or you give
Hmm.
them food, so they're not moving too much. Especially if you're taking stacked shots.
Mhm.
You want them to be comfortable. You don't want to stress them out too much because if they're stressed out, they won't stop moving. So your chance of getting an image is kaput basically.
Whoa,
So
that dragonfly,
usually, because
Smitty?
I handle. Oh yeah, there's a few dragonfly ones on there that are native.
Yeah, look
Um,
at those eyes. Oh my god,
they're
Sharpie.
so cool. They're so cool. There's another one below it that's one of our largest dragonflies. It's the golden ring dragonfly on the right. Um, that's one of our largest native species here. They're
Wow.
so cool. It just flew into the house one day. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna take some pictures. And luckily it sat
Wow.
there for a bit, so I was able to take some images. But yeah, really, really cool. Really, really cool.
Yeah, that is awesome.
That's
Wild.
nuts. Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot on there. Obviously, as I've got a bit more experience over the years, my I think my detailing when it comes to photography has improved quite a bit because I've also got practice in. So you can kind of tell the shift from when I was kind of new to it to now where I'm pretty used to it. Whereas a lot of images that are stacked, and it can be somewhere between 70 to 80 images sometimes that are stacked.
Wow.
Which is insane. Which is insane.
That is
It's just
insane,
a lot of
Sharpie. Oh my
patience.
gosh.
It is a lot of patience.
You have to have the patience of a saint because if you're using 4,500 times magnification to pull apart spiders,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I would go insane.
My dissertation took me like 6 whole months, and it was like a 6-month slog. Because I had like seasonal extension, because obviously I could only do my spider surveying in the summer, the spring summer. So I did survey like 6 surveys in April, and then I did the same exactly a month later. 3,049 spiders
what
is a
is
lot to get
that? What is
through.
that thing?
That's one of my Arasis species. That's one of the velvet spiders. I love velvet spiders.
How do
He's a
those compare to
male.
the jumpers as far as keeping and stuff? Because
Yeah,
those
talk
are
about
also starting
velvets,
to
Sharp.
take off
Those
a
are
lot.
Yeah.
super
So
cool.
yeah, velvets are a lot different.
Oh, look
I
at
think they're
Metallica.
like they look like they kind of look like the Minecraft spiders. To be honest, they're kind of chunky looking. They're cute. But they're kind of really varied in the fact that they're not as active, obviously.
Wow.
Really great eaters, really great eaters. Most of the time they're just in a, depending on the species, depending on the genus as well. Like Gundamino species, they're more arboreal-ish. They kind of
Oh, look at
utilize
that.
more height compared to Aricids that are more epigeal, so they're more on the bottom.
Okay.
So a lot of the time they're kept in really, really dry setups. They don't really need much watering at all, if at all. I know a lot of people recommend like don't water them at all because they're really arid species. Um, they're really, really fun to keep, and they're quite long lived for true spiders. I know females can live like 5 to 6 years in some
Oh,
Oh
cases.
wow. Oh wow.
Which
Okay.
is it's quite long lived. Obviously, males a bit less, 2 years about for the males.
That's
Um,
still decent
but
though. That's not bad.
yeah, it's really good. It's really good. But yeah, the girl I have at the minute, she's a Gundamino species. She's a savage when she eats. She loves food so much. There was one time on stream where I fed her a roach. I was like the same size as her because I didn't have any other food at the time, and she just absolutely like shredded it. It was
She
really
deleted it.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that wasp that you just went past there. That's an example of a parasitoid wasp. Yeah, that's one of them.
Whoa.
So
Oh
that came
yeah,
out of a
vegetable
moth
trough.
larvae. Yeah, that came
Whoa.
out of a moth larvae.
That's wicked
Really, really
cool.
cool. Yeah, you see all my little jumpies there. But yeah, velvet spiders are so cool. I really recommend them. They're kind of like the tarantulas of spiders, I guess, kind of. In the fact that they kind of stick to like one sort of spot. They're more terrestrial, quote unquote. They usually use more like sphagnum moss and like leaf litter and stuff like that to build their webs with. And you just kind of chuck food in there, and then they'll get it. Um, they're really, really cool though. They're really cool. If you're looking for like a spider, a true spider that is long lived and gets kind of a decent size, I'd really recommend them. They're really, really fun to keep. And then obviously you have at the other end of the spectrum for velvet spiders, you have Stegodipha species. These species are actually communal, so you can keep the females
Whoa.
in groups, which is really, really cool. I think they're African arboreal spiders compared to Aricids and Gundamino species. So yeah, you can keep them communally. They're one of the only true communal spiders in the fact that they spend
Wow.
their whole life history together in a web, which is
Wow.
really, really cool. And then they also, unfortunately, because of that, the females undergo a process called matrophagy, where they sacrifice
Uh,
themselves for their offspring, where they get eaten.
centipede
Happens
vibes.
a lot for
Centipede
spiders.
vibes.
Yeah, it happens
Yeah.
a lot in the invertebrate world. But yeah, that's another feature of them, which is really cool. Yeah, a
What
lot
is
of these
that
ones
little
though are
dude?
more like these are more native species. So that's a little lycosid. I
Oh
think it's
wow,
a
look at his little
pyrotula
eyes.
species, maybe.
He's like,
Yeah,
hey
he's
little
really
dude,
cute.
what's up? What's up, little guy?
Yeah, a lot of our spiders in the UK are really, really small. So it's kind of hard to photograph a lot of them because of how tiny they are. But yeah,
I think
it's
that makes
really
it
fun to
more
photograph
cool though.
anyway. Yeah, for sure. I am definitely getting used to it. Considering how small they are, to take pictures of them. But yeah, it's definitely a learning curve.
It's just such a different flavor of what I'm used to. I really
yeah.
think it's cool as heck. Like this is a totally different ball game than
Thanks.
what I'm
Thank
usually
you.
looking into. You know what I mean?
What is there a
For
purpose
sure.
that the iridescence on the chelicerae serves with some of these jumper species?
So we usually with like Phidippus species, iridescence for the males is usually for courtship.
Okay.
Hmm.
It's kind of what it's speculated to be because they can see UV. One extreme case is obviously Moretus species like peacock jumping spiders. That is like
Oh,
an extreme example of it. So they have like these really elaborate scales and hairs on their abdomens with vibrant patterns to court the female. And it's usually UV light and the coloration of them that is what attracts the females along with their dance. So yeah, that's what it's speculated to be anyway. Because obviously with Phidippus, they can only see UV and green
well, those
because they
purples
don't
are
have that
nuts.
lens. They don't have that red lens. Yeah, so that's why the males always have that green chelicerae is for the females. I'm not too sure about the females to be honest, but their color is probably just a camouflage thing, or sometimes when there's a predator, they'll flash their chelicerae fangs at the
Mhm.
predator with their arms out, so it can probably be like a ward off tactic that they use. But that's one of my Hylas species. I love it so much. I really want to get back into Hylas again. They're one of the bigger
Whoa.
jumping spiders.
Watermelon? That's watermelon?
Yeah. You can feed jumping spiders fruits and nectar and stuff like that, honeydew. They usually do it in the wild, but it's a good source of like hydration if you want to provide more
Mm-hmm.
enrichment for them, apart from just water. And it can also be used as a tool
What?
for like positive reinforcement and such like that. So yeah, you instead of feeding them, sometimes if my girls have eaten recently, or they look too chunky, I'll sometimes just give them like a piece of watermelon to eat for positive reinforcement instead.
That's
This is an
actually
idea.
so cool. I know people do.
Yeah,
People will give
yeah.
their centipedes fruit too for moisture or
Oh,
cat food as
really?
well. Yeah, dude. I have
Yeah.
not slash I don't know if I would do that, but centipedes will
Mhm.
essentially suck on fruit for moisture, like
Yeah.
NQA.
Usually hydration it's
Yeah.
good for, yeah. It's just more because it's been observed in the wild that jumping spiders do drink nectar, certain species, and they
Wha-
can also eat fruit if it's given to them. So yeah, it's really really cool. Honeydew is like a big one. Honeydew and nectar is a big one. Um, some species, depending on what it is, for example, like I said earlier, Avalca cultivora, the mosquito eating one, the young offspring actually drink nectar for a big part of their diet, which is really, really cool. And then there's also completely, well, almost completely vegetarian, quote unquote, spiders, jumping spiders. One of them is called Bagheera kitplingi. They only eat acacia seeds.
Whoa,
Apart from like
seeds?
the supposed opportunity to get an ant, yeah. So they basically invade acacia trees and they eat these little Beltian bodies, which are like little like fruiting bodies on the acacia that ants usually go for. Because obviously the ants have a mutualistic relationship with the tree. That the ants protect the tree from pests and any like herbivores. And then in return, the tree provides some of these Beltian bodies to eat. And then the jumping spider was basically like, there's this little like protein pack. I could just eat it. And then
Yeah.
they just developed this
That's
whole
so
life history
cool.
about like this just Beltian body, um, which is really really cool. They're such a unique spider. Probably like one of the only like quote unquote herbivorous ones. Obviously they're opportunistic still, so if they can get a meal from like an insect, they probably
Hmm.
will. But most of their diet, like over like 80-90%, is these Beltian fruiting bodies, which is really really cool.
Wow.
Super super cool.
That is insane. Just seed eating tarantulas. Are their fangs? Have their fangs evolved differently as a result of that food choice?
Not to my knowledge. No, not to my knowledge. I don't know if there's much into that, like the physiology of them. Um,
Sure.
I'm sure there might be. But yeah, to my knowledge, there's not really. Um, but I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure.
That's very cool.
Yeah, this is some of my older pictures now. It's reminiscing for me.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at jumpers, it's no surprise that they're sort of a great gateway into keeping spiders and stuff because they sort of fill the same niches like hognoses do, where the face is just disarming to people.
Planes.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
100%.
it's
Yeah,
hard
I love
hard to be
aircraft as
scared of
well.
something like that.
Yeah, so that's what really got me into photography first was me taking pictures of planes. And
Wow,
I was like,
that's
I like books too, so I'm gonna get into macro. That's
whoa.
Lucas. That's my first spider. That's my first Phidippus
Whoa.
rees. He's so
There he is,
cute.
the little dude. Look at him.
Yeah,
Hey little man. Hey
he's my
little
first
man.
ever one.
Little dude.
I think we have those native here where I'm at. I've never seen one. I only see pantropics everywhere.
Yeah, I really, really want to just go to the US and find some like native Phidippus regius. I'd love to do that. I really love
They're
to do that.
all over the place in the like spring and summer and
I'm
stuff.
so
Like
jealous. Yeah,
it's insane. Like
I'd love
in
to do. I have like
kitchens,
a
on
list of
grills,
yeah,
everywhere.
insane. I have like a list of like species of spider I really want to find like in the wild. Yeah, Phidippus are definitely on my list.
Yeah, they're pretty cool looking. They're pretty neat.
100%, yeah, 100%. Yeah, these are like really old ones now. Oh my god. That was probably with my phone. That's definitely with my phone.
Anolis, yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like an Anolis and a Phelsuma had a baby because it's got the grandest sort of standing eye pattern, but the...
Oh, I don't know. I don't know lizards, dude.
Well, just trust me when I tell you.
I trust you, Justin.
For real. But yeah, that's on my whole photography account now. Holy moly. You went through it.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Look at him. That's crazy. You can see the evolution,
Thank you
just
so
like you were
much.
saying.
Yeah. Exactly. And then yeah, when you scroll back up, you see them getting better and better, I hope.
Like, look at that. Look at that little dude. Like, what are you doing, brother?
Oh, she was so
dude.
cute. That was Umbra. Yeah, she was one of the really popular ones on TikTok. I love her so much. Nebula was like the most infamous spider I had. She's that one there. Little Phidippus regius. She was the mascot of TA when I first had her. There's all like Nebula emotes in the TA chat. She was such an icon. I loved her so much.
Wow. Wow.
Too
much cool stuff.
I know. Oh, you just look at that. Look at the little dude. Hey.
Yeah. So a lot of the time, a lot of my jumping spiders, I obviously like handle and use positive reinforcement and stuff like that. I do those like little training sessions as such to get them used to it. It does get to the point where they get so used to it that they're just willing like to climb on you. Most of the time, they'll touch your hand and be like, "Ew, flesh." And yeah, you just kind of get them used to it. Use positive reinforcement to like make sure this is a good interaction, and they don't deem you as a threat. And then yeah, you can get to a point where they'll trust you so much that you can just like handle them and they'll be chill. I'm making a video at the minute for kind of that sort of thing, like training sessions and handling your jumping spiders, which I'm working on with my 2 new girls at the minute. So it's just kind of like keeping like video progress of that and then making a video like probably in a month's time or something like that. Once they're super used to it, just to show like the process of it.
That's gonna be super cool. Imagine trying that with like a Lividus or something.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's so cute. It's so cute.
Oh my gosh. Oh, look at that little dude.
She's so cute. Yeah, I've had quite a lot of different species during my time as well. Again, I'd still like to branch out and get some different species, but yeah, most of them have been Phidippus, and Hylas. But yeah, apart from like natives, yeah, most of them are Phidippus or Hylas that I've had.
Wow. Oh man, that
awesome.
GBB looks nice, dude. These are some really, really killer pictures.
Oh,
now
thank you so much. Thank you.
Imagine if you had some centipedes, Sharpie, and you were taking pictures of centipedes.
So true. So true.
I'm just gonna put that out there. I'm not sure if you've had that thought
I
before, but
have
I
a
just wanted to
millipede
make
picture,
sure.
but yeah, I don't have a centipede. Yeah,
Similar
I
but
would
different.
maybe like to keep some. I did actually saying that I did used to keep some native centipedes a couple times,
Oh, that's really cool.
but they're only tiny. They're only tiny.
Yeah,
guys.
I was gonna say probably
That's a millipede.
Yeah. Oh, look at that thing, dude.
Oh yeah, that's Olive.
I still got to figure out what the sex is on my white eye.
It's like whoa. It's like oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I've never really sexed my one, to be honest. I just call them a her because I just assumed it was. I don't really know though.
What's the how would that process work, Sharpie?
I think it depends on species again. Some of them are really sexually dimorphic in fact that males have really, really long forelimbs. But those little pinchy bits. But I think you could probably ID them from the underside as well. I'm not too sure though, because I'm not really versed in whatever you say.
I know what you mean. I know the word.
That one.
Yeah, that word. Yeah, I got you. I'm picking
that
up what
one.
you're putting down.
Yeah.
Ambly, dude. Them Ambly.
Yeah. But yeah. Super cool. Super cool. That's like one of our largest wolf spiders, or chunkiest wolf spiders.
We get some here, man, that every now and then I'll see a massive view and I'm like, God damn.
Damn, girl.
She's a big spider. Like, normally they're size, but every now and then, dude, I'll see a female that makes me do a double take. Like, is one of mine out and loose or something? I'm like, oh no, it's just a hogna. Like,
yeah, I'm so jealous. You guys have like really big wolf spiders, like hogna species. I'm like, I really want to see one. Ours are so small.
It's the state spider in South Carolina. Fun fact.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
I'd love
Hogna
to see
caroliniensis.
them. So
formerly
cool.
Lycosa. Cool. That was never one I kept though. I never bothered trying to keep any of them.
They are fun to keep. I mean, that girl you just looked at the picture of, I'm keeping her at the minute, because she's just a wild caught one. She's really fun to keep, to be honest. Her enclosure has some eye supports in it. Yeah, she really is. Sometimes she just has an eye support. I'm like, where did you get that from? There's just like little eye supports in her enclosure. She
found
just
it.
snacks on. Yeah.
Snack.
Yeah, like legit, some of these are the same size as like the female Mira.
Yeah, that's
insane.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, look at those bastards. Oh man,
they're so pretty. I'd love to see some.
Look at that eye structure. Ooh.
Yeah, basically almost on par with jumping spiders.
Yeah, essentially, right? Oh, and then look at the one, like, the gravid one, dude. Oh, they're so cool looking, man.
Yeah, I see a lot of those too. I saw one at work on the floor that had a bunch of babies in her bag. A couple weeks ago.
Oh, look at her. She's so cute. Yeah, they're really good mothers as well.
They're so badass. Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, I'd love to have like some non-native wolf spiders at some point.
There's a lot of variation in them too, I've noticed. Like you'll get some that are like that really pale whitish color, and then you get some that are more earth tone brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even in the UK, you can kind of tell the difference between genera. I mean, the one you just looked at of mine, she's a Trochosa species. Trochosa, quite identifiable. I think you have them in the US as well. They have this little cardiac mark, and that cardiac mark is always identifiable for that genus.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, some of them have like defining features. Some of them you cannot tell. But yeah, ones like that where it's really easy. It's like, I love this one so much because it's just so easy to ID.
Oh man.
Yeah, these are crazy easy to find too. Just go out in my yard with a flashlight and there's eye shine everywhere.
Yeah, Justin, you could keep them real quick.
Looks like the ground is covered in glitter. Like I'm not even exaggerating. Like you take a flashlight out, especially in the summer.
Videos like that, yeah.
Oh my god. Because my wife was like, "Look at those shiny things," and I'm like, "I'll tell you, but you don't know.
Don't touch them."
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, do you want to know about it? Probably
like
not.
It's either hogna and then there's a ton of grass spiders, which I don't remember the species name on, but we have a ton of those too. They look pretty similar.
Like ArachNerds? Yeah.
I think so.
They're like the I forget the common names. But it's like the ones that like house spiders and stuff like that. I can't remember the common names. It's usually like funnel grass weaver or something like that.
Right.
There's a bunch of names for them. Yeah, I think you're not on about Agilanids.
Yeah, I just want to find some Numidia. Or whichever one the other species is that we have native. It starts with a C.
And more native centipedes. What? Who said that?
I will send you centipedes.
I know. Well, I'm just waiting.
I'll go look under my trash can when we get done here. We'll see.
Oh, sick. Yeah, let a boy know.
Had I known they were in demand, I would have grabbed you the 3 that were hanging out under there the other day.
Hey man, live and learn. It's okay. You know. It's all right. Now we know.
I didn't think you cared enough about those. I was like, yeah, that's cool.
Dude, the fact that it's still 80 degrees down there right now is banana land to me. Like it hit 31 here last night, so there's probably peds everywhere down there, dude.
That's insane.
If I go start flipping some stuff, I'm sure I could find some.
That's bananas.
But
For real.
did we have anything else? Or we
did. We did finish the list.
We did finish the list. Because we're
I mean, did you guys want to hear more about my research? Maybe it's up to you though. I don't mind rambling for a bit if you want me to ramble for a bit.
Yeah.
Hit us with it. That's
I don't have
anything
going on.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I feel like I haven't really explained it very well, but my dissertation, I was mostly studying agricultural spiders, just because that's what was accessible at the time, and there's not really much research out there, for like all stratum of spiders, which is kind of what I focus on, which I discussed a bit earlier, with the vacuum sample. A lot of it's just epigeal spiders, so the ground dwelling spiders. So obviously, as you'd probably guess, field margins are really good. And from those field margins, I found a population of nationally scarce Linophiidae. So the Panamoma of salsifrons is a nationally nationally scarce species. And from what I did for my research, there is definitely an active population there. Most of them were found within that field margin, but some of them had dispersed around the area into different locations that just happened to pick up. But yeah, they are also really, really interesting with the males. The males look like they got horns, which is really cool. They got like little eye horns that like project out to the front of them.
Whoa.
They're another really, really cool money spider species that look really weird. But yeah, probably as you'd guess, the hypotheses were all correct in the fact that, yeah, if you conventionally farm a field, it's really bad for spider populations. Would you have guessed that?
Yeah.
And then obviously with strip cropping and vineyards, it's a little bit better. But the most ideal one is obviously if you have like a different different like vegetation and like a variety of like a mosaic basically of habitats. That's the main thing. Though from that, because obviously my research could only span that year, and in those 2 recording sessions, it kind of opens the window to do more research, which would be really really good to do. If I ever did postgrad, I'd love to go back and do it, in a more comprehensive like overview. But also you got to take into account that basically the surrounding area also has an impact on these agricultural populations. So you'd probably have to do another survey out and look into the wider habitation, because that definitely has an effect. There's been quite a lot of studies that confirm that, even in like tropical climates. So it would definitely be a really good thing to look into the wider environment, and then if that has any impact or anything like that. And yeah, it's just a pretty simple study, but from that I managed to record 3,049 spiders, which is kind of
That's
crazy.
insane. Yeah, from just 2
Yeah,
seconds, Sharpie, that's nuts.
yeah, so it's like I can't remember how many samples it was now. So I think I did 15 samples per site twice. So it was something like 145, 150 samples. Just because one of them I couldn't get into the the field margin because it was a wooded field margin. And by the time it was May, I could not get in there. It was just so
Oh,
overgrown.
wow.
Um,
Wow.
I just couldn't see anything. So I had to cut that short, so it kind of affected my results. But yeah, the general consensus is that spider richness, species richness, abundance, and diversity is definitely improved when you have a good mosaic of vegetation, which is pretty
I
obvious,
mean,
right? When you think about it, it's pretty obvious.
it does make sense, right? Options you want, all the I mean, yeah, like you said, it tracks, right? That variety. Um, that's still super cool though. I can't believe you got so many IDs.
Mhm.
Like, imagine had you been able to go to that other site, that number could
Yeah,
have
it's
jumped even more.
crazy.
Like, that's nuts.
Oh yeah,
Smitty's got
easily,
some
100%.
technical difficulties right
I
now.
could give you some numbers if you want.
Yeah, throw them at us. Throw them at us. I'm here for
Oh, is
numbers.
he?
Yeah, look at him.
Cool.
Yeah, Smitty, dude, you can do it.
So yeah, I'm gonna say I'm looking at a wall right now. Yeah. It's a nice wall though. I like that piece
Yeah,
of
yeah,
wood.
it's a beautiful wall. Beautiful piece of wood. You're right, Sharpie.
So it's so good. So I guess I could throw some numbers out of like the families. Obviously, Fide was the most recorded family. That was at 1,775. ArachNerds, so that's like your all beavers, right? There was 44 individuals for that. Clubionidae, that was 144. So those are your sac spiders. They're kind of cool guys as well. They're predatory, so they don't make webs.
Wow.
Then you have Dictinidae, so they're kind of similar to like money spiders, I guess, but they're kind of their own thing. They're kind of like a mini irises, I want to say. They're kind of hard to describe, but yeah,
Even
they make little
smaller?
webs as well, little like sheet webs.
Wow.
Yeah, they can be quite tiny. I mean, a lot of them was from one species, or if they were immature, you can't really ID them at that age. So usually it's just like Dictina species. Um,
Oh,
there
okay.
were 78 of those, and then Lycosidae. So obviously, Lycosids are quite quick. They're one of the main species that you'll record if you're doing epigeal spider studies with pitfall traps, because obviously they run into it and they can't get out. Because I was just vacuum sampling and I was getting more of a range, they weren't my focal point, but they're really, really good at pest management on agricultural fields because of how prolific they can be.
Wow.
Admittedly, I only found like 17 individuals, but they're really, really good at what they do. And there's quite a few studies that highlight this in epigeal studies, spider studies on agricultural fields. So they're definitely
Wow.
a really cool one. My Metaday is they're like another orb weaver basically. They're also called pirate spiders as a common name. I got 43 of those.
43.
Philodromidae, they're like your running crab spider. There's 47 of those. They're kind of cool. I think I've got 3 different species. Tibellus is a really cool species, or genus, in the fact that they kind of look long. So usually, like a crab spider, you imagine them like kind of like wide with their legs,
Yeah.
right? These guys are like
Yeah.
long. They're like the reverse.
Whoa.
They're just long legged, and their abdomens
Long
are quite long.
boys. Long boy.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Furuliphidae are ant mimics. They're really, really cool as well. I only found 4 of those. Furulifus festivus. They're really, really cool in their own right. They're just kind of like the ant mimicky. You usually find them around ant colonies. But yeah, there's quite a few species in the UK. But yeah, they're definitely one of my favorites to find, even though they are tiny. They're like 4 or 5 millimeters. They are still
Whoa,
small.
that's super
But
tiny.
some of them have cool patterns on them. Super, super small. Yeah, I find this is a common trend in the UK. A lot of our
Wow.
biodiversity has just kind of been kaput by like all the agriculture and that. So it's kind of it's just kind of been grinded down since like industrial revolution times. Um, uh, Visceridae is the nursery webs. That was 10 of those. They're really good again for predation. Really fun fact about them. Nursery web spider males bring gifts for the females to court them. And sometimes the
Whoa.
males have learned that they can give them a fake or empty food package and then in the hopes to mate with her and she wouldn't notice. Which is really, really
Whoa.
sneaky. But it's really, really
Trickery.
cool. It's really
Whoa.
cool. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Then I like the success rate of it, but yeah, some males just be lazy and sneaky like that.
Man,
Solticidae, obviously that's
works and works.
the jumpy spiders. I found 10 of them. Yeah, exactly. Eurofreeze frontialis, that's a common species, so not really any surprise there. Tetragonathidae, that was 71. These are the long jaw orb weavers, so you usually find them like in reeds or like long grasses. They're kind of like the extra long looking guys. They usually like blended in on like grass or stalks or reeds, kind of like stretched all the way out. They're really, really fun to find. The males are quite sexually dimorphic in the fact that their chelicerae and fangs are huge. Depends on species, but a lot of the time that is the case. Females can sometimes have the really big chelicerae fangs as well, but it's more a case for the males because of that sexual dimorphism. Um, and they can hold the females quite far away because of it. So then they obviously don't risk cannibalism as much.
Mm-hmm.
Therodiidae, they're the second most recorded family, 837 for them.
Wow.
They're like another orb weaver type ish spider. A lot of them are orb weavers. A lot of them is like make webs. But yeah, a lot of them. In particular, Tiara by Maculata, that was like one of the most recorded species with like 200. Most of them I couldn't ID because they were mostly immature. So a lot of time I just have to record them as a species of that family. 627 were immature, which sucks.
Wow.
But that's why we got to do, surveys throughout the year because obviously different spider groups and different spider genera mature at different times of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another really good reason you should obviously expand your temporal analysis even more. Tomizidae, so that's another crab spider. These are a different family of crab spiders. Not your running crabs; these are just like crab spiders. 13 of them. They're also really good predators. Ozip Tyler, there was a species on olive groves that was researched that was found to be a good bioindicator of a healthy agricultural habitat. I forget where. I think it was in Portugal. I can't remember the name of the species, but they're another really, really cool group. And then Zoridae. Zoridae is like they're kind of like wolf spiders. That's the closest I can like picture them as. Wolf looking esque spider. I think they're sometimes called like false wolf spiders. As their common name. There was only 34 of them, and they're all the same species. There is one other species you find in the UK that is non-native. They're also like really big spiders. I forget where they originate from, but yeah. And there's another Zora species that is huge. But yeah, that's about it for my the grand scheme of the rule.
That is quite a diversity of just like
That's
even though you found a bunch of immature spiders too, and it's still just like crazy diverse. Like what?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it obviously adds to the end with the stats as well to then prove that point that these agricultural sites are either really bad or really good, even though they are immature. But yeah, if you wanted a more comprehensive overview, then you do it more times during the year and then repeated for each year around the same times. But yeah, it was a really fun study. I really don't regret it. I've obviously gained a ton of experience just by doing that. Yeah, it was a bit of a slog for 6 months because every day I'd just be sitting there under a microscope or sitting there just writing up this really, really long 10,000 word dissertation and doing stats and everything.
God bless.
It was a lot of stats. But yeah.
Patience of a saint.
It was worth it.
I feel like that's something I would be
Thanks,
really
yeah.
pumped to
now
start.
What's
Then
happening
halfway through it, I
is
would really say,
my dissertation. Yeah, Dan, my dissertation is now being written up into a proper research article. And it's going to be published under the British Arachnological Society as a journal. So I'm really excited to get that published. But yeah, it's just working on like reformatting it. And luckily my supervisor is still helping me with it because you also get your dissertation supervisor who's like a qualified entomologist and such like that. He's still helping me with it. So yeah, I'm really thankful for him for helping me season or autumn season. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Depends on how quickly we get it through.
That's still so cool though that you're published or you're going to be published. Like that's first
it's
AN guest that's
insane.
published. That's wicked badass.
Yeah, because I don't really look at publishing like undergrad research because sometimes it's not really that comprehensive. But my supervisor was like, "Yeah, you got a lot of research and it's really useful, so you might as well." I was like, "Cool, yeah, let's do it."
That's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah, really
Was
exciting. Really exciting.
there any sort of like correlation to the health of those agricultural portions that you were in and studying, like the ones that had the most spiders overall were doing better compared to the ones that didn't have as many? Like,
So like health-wise for like individuals, I'm not too sure. That wasn't really the study. There are studies out there, however, that I found in my lit review that have looked at health of spiders. There was one that basically found that the health of female wolf spiders was a lot higher, and they had a higher fecundity in certain agricultural areas, particularly with ones that had a lot of pests within it. And that was mostly on like conventional or strip cropped fields. I could probably send you the link if you want, but yeah, some of them have researched like the actual health of the spider. I obviously, because I had so many, I wasn't really looking at
right,
that, but
really
yeah, I've got like a load of. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure there's probably like loads of research you can do with that. I mean, I've got the specimens still. I have a bunch of them in vials. So I guess if I really wanted to, I could probably look back and see if I can notice anything. But yeah, I think it would have to be like a whole separate study in itself.
What about the health of the actual crops that they were on? Was there a difference in quality there with the densities being higher or lower?
Yeah, so I guess with the crop health, it was quite a good year to be honest for crops. Apart from when I was studying anyway, at the end of the year, it was kind of too dry and too hot, so the crops kind of suffered this year. So because it was kind of like different fields and different things that we were looking at, it's kind of hard to say unless you're comparing to other fields with the same crops. But from what I found, because with the strip crop it was quite dry, there was an issue with me vac sampling because I'd pick up a bunch of dirt, and especially in the conventional field as well. I just get loads of dust everywhere. So it was a little bit annoying. It was a little bit annoying, but obviously by the time I came back in May, a lot of the crops have grown up. To the point where it's like basically up to like my waist and my chest. So it was like lugging through like these really tall crops, and yeah, they seem to be doing good, the crops anyway. The strip cropping one was a little bit I don't think there's anything from the crop, but I think the strip that they used was a little bit too dry. Because it was like a mix of like bean potato crop. Some of them hadn't really sprouted very well, so whether that has a factor, I'm not too sure. I'm probably sure I can assume it probably will do, because obviously you have less shelter there, so there's less likely to be spiders there because obviously they don't have, shelter from predators and from the sun and such like that, and there's not going to be many prey species there. So yeah, I could definitely be like another study for sure. There's so much you can do.
Wow.
A lot of factors.
A lot of variables.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, exactly that.
A lot of spiders.
A lot of spiders. So many spiders, man. So many.
Not a bad thing.
Nope. No complaints from me.
Nope.
No, for sure. Yeah, no, for sure.
Makes me want to go out and
out in the end,
jumpers right now.
Yeah, do it.
You probably could, Justin. It's
I'm
warm
sure
down there, man. They're definitely there, dude. Like within 15 minutes, you could find one.
We'll see.
Yeah, 100%.
Got a very small lot next to the house that's wooded that I frequent, hoping to find some coral snakes, but a boy can dream.
There'll be a lot of jumping spiderlings at the minute. There's been quite a few in my house, just on the ceiling and the walls. It's just like, yeah, it's spiderling season now. Mating season's over, so you'll find a lot of babies.
I'm sure I could go find me some widows too if I wanted to. I could feel like I could throw a rock out the garage door right now and hit one if I wanted to. Those are all over the place.
Those are so cool.
They're fun, dude. That's the only true spider that I've really done any time with.
Dritz gave me a couple.
Mackins.
They're really cool. I got a black widow and a couple brown widows. They're really cool.
Watching those things take down a big prey item is wild.
It's diabolical. It is diabolical.
They like crucify them.
Yeah.
They time and then they crucify them, and it's just
They're
like
metal. It is so metal.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome.
It's so cool. It is so cool.
Is it that time?
I think it's that time.
I would agree.
It's actually hot in here right now. I'm starting to sweat some, but I'm fat, so doesn't take much. If anybody wants to get in touch with you,
man.
What's the best way for them to do that?
Probably the Discord TA. If you go in there, you'll find me quite easily. I have a little community chat down at the bottom, Spoodling Tribe. So yeah, if you want to contact me, that's very easy to do. But I'm also streaming on YouTube and Twitch every week, usually once or twice a weekend. And yeah, a lot of other platforms as well, like Reddit, Instagram, Facebook, blah, blah, blah. There's so many. But yeah, Discord is the one I'll mostly be on, like 24/7 almost. That's where you'll find me.
Join Tarantula Addicts. Heard it here first.
Message us for the link.
Yes, join Tarantula Addicts.
I don't think I'm still figuring out Discord.
Yeah, Justin's geriatric.
I'm struggling. Like, can people search that up in Discord and join it? Do you have to have the link?
I
don't know.
You should be able to just search it up, I think. I think if you just search Discord, you'll find it.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was thinking it was like this weird digital speakeasy.
If it's not,
it's password and know somebody to know somebody.
If you join discord.gg/TA, that also takes you to it.
Okay. Oh, excellent. Okay, cool. That's easy enough.
Yeah.
Memorized.
Yeah. There's a lot of people in there, man. I really haven't even done that much looking around in there. I haven't had a ton of time. I mean, Phil's got to tag me anytime I'm mentioned in something because I don't.
Same with just harass Justin.
Like
I literally harass him.
Referee at this point. He's like tagging me.
Like, Smitty.
Respond to somebody. Yeah.
Figure it out. They want t-shirts. Go.
Jeez. Yeah. So check that out. It's cool. And then hop on over to fullofviceapparel.com. Get yourself some shirts, hats, mugs, hoodies, all that good stuff. Use the code THN at checkout. Gets you 15% off your order. That is the exclusive promo code for THN listeners and viewers like you. Got some Underdark exclusive stuff in the works.
Shout out Dritz.
No.
We'll make a formal announcement at some point once we figure out exactly what we're doing. Because right now I feel like we're all over.
The source material is crazy. It is crazy how many pictures that you've got to work with.
I've been struggling, but last night I sat down. It was like midnight, and I cranked out like 3 of them. All week I've been like, I can't do it. I can't do it. The pressure's like, my expectations were set too high for what the output needed to be. But last night I was like,
it just happens, man.
Crank it out. Yeah. I got more to work on too. I didn't even get to all the ones that I was really planning to work on. So we'll do some sort of formal announcement about that whenever things sort of set and in motion and things like that. So be on the lookout for it. Snakes and Stogies Monday, as far as I know. We'll see.
With the other Phil.
With the other Phil. The Wolf of Wheeler Eye. And we will see everybody later. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.